Ah, there we go. All right, let me just double check a few things. Ah, you firsted. Good for you.
Wind actually had first, but I wasn't gonna let that slide, so I removed his messages.
Well,
Wonder if is Wind here watching yet? Probably
currently
not.
currently there are no viewers at the
Oh,
moment.
big sad.
Hmm. Guess I could probably starting now. And there we go. Announced a second time.
Oh boy. What would be the appropriate
Appropriate
place to
place
send
and
the
stuff for the
VC?
VC.
That's a good question,
Ooh.
Zeta. Um, oh hey,
Speaking
Zeta's
speaking
here.
of Zeta, there he is.
Are you gonna grace us with your lovely voice today, Zeta? Or are you just gonna stay muted?
Walking Dead USA has joined the chat.
Why, hello there.
It's not
It's not
happening today.
happening today?
Aw,
Oh man.
boo. Okay. Podcast, text,
Oh,
selected roles. There we go. Yes. And of course, all applicable peeps. There we go. Alright, there should
oh
be
boy.
or in
Yep.
fact, how about let's change the title to something more appropriate. There we go.
Yeah.
Live stream text.
Yep.
Ah, and you first did that one.
Ah, I got sniped.
Good on you.
All right.
I
So,
like how in streamer mode, uh, if you click on a person, it'll show their nickname and then the first part of their Discord tag, but not the numbers.
yeah, it is actually really useful. Don't need anyone getting doxxed.
Right, right.
So, how's everything been going, DM, Zeta? I mean, you should probably talk in the live stream chat so people have context of what you're saying.
Right.
I'm doing pretty good, Walking Dead USA. Haven't really had a really busy week.
Neither have I actually.
The only Battle Planet acquisitions I had this week was 2 card packs, and I managed to pull a Magnus, so that was cool. The pretty card. Um,
I haven't gotten anything new Battle Planet wise. I'm more or less waiting for some other things to show up. I really want
yeah.
a Trox Ultra to a Diamond Trox Ultra to pop up at some point, but at this rate, unless I can find it at my in my work back room tomorrow, I'll have missed my chance.
Yeah.
And the chances of finding it in the back room are pretty low because I'm sure that place is still a mess and there's nothing in the toy bins as usual.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, some other, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I didn't really do a whole lot this week. Just been working on the wiki and actually documenting stuff and getting stuff organized. But
Oh,
yeah.
great. One of my dogs is going insane.
Oh boy.
Shut up, stupid dog. Shut up. Ah.
It's fine.
I don't I
I
don't
see
know I don't know what she's barking at.
I can just make my dog growl on stream, and then all the dog noises will be completely acceptable.
That'd be kind of funny to watch actually.
He is sleeping right now though, so I won't bother him. He's
Uh,
actually being quite the good boy.
what's the dog of yours that got the cone of shame?
That's Humphrey.
That was him. Is that
Yeah.
was that a recent picture or was that saved?
No, that was a saved photo. I just liked the cone of shame
uh,
photo.
okay, she's not shutting up. Give me a minute. Entertain the 7 people in chat.
Oh wow, so much pressure. Um, I mean, new Battle Planet episodes came out this week. Those were pretty good. I won't spoil anything right now. I mean, I'm sure not everyone has watched them yet or watched all the episodes, but they're pretty decent episodes. Um, got to see some more Bakugan that we haven't seen in the anime before, so that's good. And yeah. Oh, hey Sync. Why aren't you in VC? Why aren't you in VC? You should just hop on in so I can have someone to talk to. And you can talk of your depth, your complex knowledge of the TCG and how all TCGs work. Oh boy. Oh. Now my dog's awake, so I can just make him growl for like 5 minutes until DM gets back, and it'll be very entertaining for everyone.
Okay.
Oh, he growled as I picked him up.
Oh,
He knows what's coming.
we have a Kieran McNeil in chat wanting us to entertain him like the monkeys we are.
Oh man. Or you could just join us in VC and then you can entertain other people.
Whoa. Okay, of course, my dog shut her mouth the minute I started yelling at her. From
Yeah,
upstairs, of course.
Yeah, that's kind of how dogs are, you know?
Yeah.
Just gotta tell them to shut up every once in a while. Isn't that right, Humphrey? Humphrey says yes, of course. Okay.
Play Bakugan Defenders of the Core using NetPlay on Dolphin. No. For one, I don't have Dolphin on my computer, and two, no thank you.
Yeah, I mean...
I got bored of Defenders of the Core for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, player versus player might actually be fun on NetPlay, but then, like, there's the actual emulating it. Me and you could emulate it, which is fair. The game is a beautiful mess. This is true. I mean, that's kind of all of Bakugan as a whole, isn't it? It's just one big, beautiful mess.
And then there was Rise of the Resistance. Don't even get me started.
Oh, yeah. And, well, let's see. Battle Trainer was a game. Battle Trainer was a game.
Okay, have you seen Tertonium yet? Out of all the products I've seen on stores and online from the list so far, Tertonium is the only one I haven't seen yet. Have you seen any Gortheon? Because I think that's another one that was in the same vein.
Yeah. Yeah. Plutonium and Gortheon are MIA currently. Battle Trainer Let's Play when? I don't know wins. I mean, aren't you the one who did the DS games?
Yeah, you did I'm pretty sure you even did Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah. It was a great Let's Play. How many finale episodes did you have? Was it 4 parts for the finale? When I'm waiting on your answer on how many parts your finale was. I could probably just go look at it on your channel.
Probably could.
Let's see.
5.
Oh, 5 parts finale.
5-part finale.
Probably should have thought that one through.
6, never mind.
Oh, no, no.
Wow, man.
How many episodes is the entire series? Let's see, 19 and then 6-part finale, so it's a 25-part series.
Wow. Why is the finale 6 parts exactly?
The big questions.
Well, Wind, you're the one who made it. Why don't you answer? Why 6 parts for the finale? It was gonna be 4. But the game turned out longer.
Oh, okay. I mean, fair point.
Shoot.
Fair enough.
No, lucky duck. Oh. So, in Toys General on the Bakugan Wiki Discord, Lego Detective just posted a Dragonoid lot he won on eBay. It's got 2 Blitz Dragonoids, but the thing that interests me is that titanium Dragonoid in the back looks like the Japanese release Baku Phantom.
Aww. Well, heck.
Let me ask him, is that a translucent titanium
Oh,
in the
yeah.
back?
Hmm.
If so, nice score.
It's alright. We can just go break into his house and take it from him. It's all good, guys.
Cause shoot,
It's
like
worth it.
that's like insane.
I wonder how much he paid for it. Let's see. Can we reverse image search it?
I wonder if you can find it on like sold listings on eBay or something.
Yeah, sold for Bakugan. Considering it just ended.
Let's see, where's the
complete.
options? Sold items. Ended recently.
Oh, there it is. Oh, wow.
Jeez! Holy cow! $102 and $15 shipping. Holy cow! Oi, still talking about Japanese Metanium Surge.
Okay,
Not
it's not
really.
translucent.
It
It's
turns
not
out the one
translucent.
we're thinking of was not translucent. Oh, it has close-up pictures. It's just the lighting. I see.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh, it's a 900G. That's not bad. 900G looks lightly customized almost.
Yeah. It doesn't really look too different to me. Of course,
So-
I've never actually had a titanium dragon in person, so. $15 shipping though. That's kind of crazy.
That's madness. Utter madness.
What's going on in live stream chat? Old Bakugan in
it's-
general is starting to get expensive. Not so much. Old Bakugan are kind of staying the same. I've noticed interest is kind of dwindling. From because, I mean, honestly, it's just a kind of a core group of maybe 1,000 collectors that are still out there, and now that Battle Planet's out,
They're all focused more on that. Like,
Yeah,
to give you an idea, I only just recently managed to sell a Blastelico I had lying around.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes and no. I mean, once Battle Planet stagnates for a little bit, then prices might go up a little bit because people will be back to collecting stuff, but right now it's just kind of stagnant.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm a little curious. Let's see some recently bought Bakugan items. There was a Diamond Dragonoid for $29.
Crazy.
The
And not
the
as
Pyrus
bad.
the Pyrus Dragonoid bundle. Oh man, what?
What?
There was a loose B1 Ventus Skyrus 350 Gs that was up for $150. But
What?
there was a best offer accepted.
I wonder what it was.
I wonder too. I wish there were ways for you to see that, but there's not.
Yeah.
That's only between the buyer and the seller. And then there is a super rare Tiger Reflex that sold for about $8. Buy it now.
Yeah.
These are like expensive cards mostly.
Yeah.
Wow. Diamond Dragonoid for 18, 14 bids.
Wait.
Sealed Dragonoid for 12 on a buy it now.
Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page and look at the Battle Planet card lot that sold for 100.
What? Where is that?
I think this is a guy from r slash who who I don't know if he didn't want it anymore. I forget the circumstances, but I think he just was gonna go in on the card game, but decided that he wasn't interested.
Um, hang on. I just noticed something very curious that I want to take a look at.
Oh? I need to put this chat somewhere. Maybe the nostalgia market.
No, okay, not the same person. I found a Battle Planet Dragonoid loose that looked suspiciously similar to the one I sold.
Ah.
It's not though. Different different seller and actually a different sleeve in the top loader.
I mean, Amazon isn't a great way to judge Bakugan prices at all.
$170 for a Dragonoid Colossus is way too much.
Yep.
No, those things are incredibly common. Probably one of the only big things more common than that is Max's Dragonoid. I have two full ones, and I almost have enough pieces for a third.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have 4 spit arms at this point.
God, so do I.
What is it with spit arm just being randomly loose and everything?
I have no idea. Okay, when you said the very bottom of the page, like were you on the Bakugan listing, right?
Just right, Bakugan? I just searched Bakugan and then scrolled all the way down on the sold listings. Somebody sold like a whole, not a whole binder, but like a pretty decent binder of cards for $100.
There is a... So, if anyone was on last time, you guys know that I managed to pull a couple Aurelus Titan Hydrus. There is one on eBay that sold today. 2 bids for $5.60.
Wow.
Yeah. Sad indeed. I haven't looked far enough to see it. And then there was another one, $10, but best offer accepted. Diamond Trox Ultra for $10. That's as much as the booster itself costs.
But they accepted an offer on it?
The Titan Hydrus.
Okay.
Was listed for $10. This one was listed for $10, but there was an offer made that was accepted.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. Zeta is selling his Trox Ultra for $50. Only real offers, please, lol. Let's see. Do you know if Wave 2 of Bakugan has been released yet? According to the official announcement, the second wave of Bakugan, which include like Trox Ultra, Syndius Ultra, Core Serpentes, Core Mantanoid, stuff like that, was going to be released this month in February. That's definitely a bit of a flexible date depending on your store, because the stores around me put out Wave 2 about 2 weeks ago. Like a week after getting Wave 1.
And my stores just got Wave 1 non-display stuff, so the cases and the 5-packs. So I'll probably have to wait 2 more weeks for Wave 2.
My local Walmart never got a display, and that makes me kind of sad. But another interesting thing about my local Walmart is no diamonds at all. I even checked the spread of the starter packs, and instead of the Diamond Maxator, it included another Serpentes. But Wiki already knows about that. And then another interesting thing is I have found so far 2 just random Wave 2 Ultras. No, 1 Wave 2 Ultra, which was a Trox Ultra that Zeta ended up getting. And then there was a Core Solo Aquas Nilius that I saw very recently but didn't get. So I'm really curious if they have anything in the back.
just walk back there and just, check it out.
I mean, honestly, I'm going to work tomorrow, so what does it hurt?
Yeah. All right. So,
What about the Ventus Serpentines Ultra? Did my store have one of those? I don't think they did. I don't remember seeing it.
oh.
Oh yeah, and then besides the new marbles, we also have like new colorings of Nilius, like I said, Aquas, and then there's Ventus Serpentines Ultra, Epirus Garganoid Ultra, Aurelus Hydrus Ultra, and then as for some of the other cores that got solo releases, there were Aurelus Pegatrix, Darkest Dragonoid, and I think that's it. Oh yeah, and Diamond Hydrus.
Okay.
Aquas Fangzor, that's another one.
Oh man, speaking of Aurelus Hydrus Ultra.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's a thing to mention.
a
Okay.
hilarious thing.
All right, so
Do
you want to take the reins on that because this is funny.
Let me find the image first, but we noticed something weird about the Aurelus Hydrus Ultra character card art.
Ah, found it.
Could you post that in stream chat maybe? Like
switching over in the actual live stream right now.
Okay. Yeah. So if you just take a look at this beautiful piece of artwork of Hydrus Ultra and Aurelus, if you look at the background, you'll notice that that's just a real airport. It's just a real airport. Like, they didn't draw that. And
It's absolutely obnoxious because this is one of the only cards that actually looks like this.
Well, there's that, and there's Aquas Syndius Ultra, if you go and look at it.
I thought it was a... Oh, right. Yeah.
And
yeah, I don't know where that is in this VC chat. But,
yeah.
Okay.
I will... Here's the link to something else we found. So this is obviously just a real airport, right? But DM, go ahead and show everyone the image. It's just a stock photo of an airport.
This is a stock photo of an airport. Brisbane Airport Corporation. So this is an image of the Brisbane Airport. Does it look familiar to anybody? At all? Huh?
Yeah.
So obviously it's not the same picture, but
Well,
it
it's
is
not 100.
It is heavily based. Like you can see, obviously.
No, it is the same photo. It's just edited over.
It's just edited, and then there's a bunch of clouds up here, which I think could definitely be like original paintings.
Oh yeah,
because
the clouds
obviously
are
here
original,
it's like fairly
and there's
cloud-free.
there's a building in the right corner that they drew in.
Right back there. Yeah, and I think when you really like reference it between the photo itself and that image,
they're the same.
They're two different styles, 100%.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I meant. But yeah, it's the same stock image. So, the only difference is this one was made taller, then they added the clouds.
Right.
Like,
and then,
the width is the
then
same.
that plane up in the air is in the original as well. However, they made it a different color and put it much higher in the sky.
And they made it smaller, so you couldn't tell.
Right, that too. If you take a look, they are the same plane. Pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun.
That and the brands are missing. Yeah, like we said, it's edited.
Yeah.
Alright, transition back. So that's just a fun little tangent.
Yeah. So the company that did this was Volta, and I guess they just used real life images and just reference and just kind of trace over them, which is fine, you know. We don't know how much they were paid to do this. But yeah, they that was definitely more of a misstep than anything. Probably not intentional, but somehow it got passed as a final photo.
Hmm. That's just very funny. So,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if the next release of Aurelus Hydrus Ultra has different card art.
That would be funny.
Like if they put it out in a Bakugan Resurgence, the second expansion.
Yeah.
If they do that, you definitely want to get your hands on the Battle Brawlers version because that card is going to be a treasure.
Yeah. Or they'll just never change it. We don't know if they have the rights for the image, but we don't think they have the rights for the image.
To be fair, it's a stock image, if it is at all. Actually, that image just did say like credit to them, so it's not stock. Otherwise, it wouldn't be watermarked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so unless they got like a license, like a commercial license to use that,
Then yeah.
that's a bit nutty.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
technically redrawing stock photos is the same as using a stock photo without permission, so I hope if they used other stock photos that they have the rights for them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. What else? Wait.
Sync can't join. What?
What?
What? You should be able to.
Yeah. You're
I checked. I checked this. I checked this, and yeah, you should be able to join. Zeta was able to join. There's no reason you can't.
yeah.
What, really? Then-
Wait,
then-
what?
Oh, okay. That's really odd. Oh wait. Oh, yeah. I know why. Try it now, Sync. I should have fixed it.
What did you do?
There was a certain role he didn't have.
Oh. Okay. It works, but water comes first apparently for Sync Lyric.
Who is the Tico Bakugan /S?
That's a spoiler, mister.
Thanks for your insight, Ren.
Yeah, that's a spoiler, and we're not allowed to talk about spoilers in this lovely live stream.
Speaking of spoilers, episodes 21 through 28 are on the app now.
Yeah, I already talked about that because you had to go yell at your dog, and I had to just talk about stuff.
Okay,
But yeah.
okay, cool.
Have you watched the episodes yet, DM?
No.
Aw.
No, I need to get on that at some point. I really do.
Yeah, they're pretty good episodes. Yeah, they're all pretty plot heavy, actually.
Oh yeah, from what I've read of the summaries. Oh,
Very
absolutely.
plot heavy,
and,
actually.
And from the spoilers I've caught in spoiler chat, and from Ren being a like absolute like message fire off in another one of our channels.
Yeah, he just completely summarized all episodes as he was watching them, which
Eventually I was just like, okay, ping me when it's over. I'm muting this channel during your play-by-play.
Yeah. Luckily, I had already seen them before Ren had, so I didn't get anything spoiled.
Good for you.
But yeah, there's a lot of new Bakugan in these episodes, actually, which I won't talk about. I mean, I can talk about who we saw, right? Like, is anyone in chat gonna be upset if they know which Bakugan that we haven't seen yet in the show are in the episode?
Spoilers.
Like, is anyone really gonna care that we saw X Bakugan in an episode?
Let's see. Jake Burner is in VC text, despite not being in voice chat, so you know what that means, it's a boot.
Oh, well, you just got booted.
Seems like everyone doesn't care.
No one really cares. All right. Technically, well, I mean, we're in a voice chat. VC text doesn't specify which voice chat you have to be in. Now, does it,
Right,
Ren?
right. It's Zeta, not Ren.
Or did I say Ren?
Yes, yes you did.
I was looking at Ren in another channel.
Did my mouse just die? My mouse just died. Great.
Oh wow, fun. What will we do?
Well, considering it'll only take me all of right now to plug a charger in.
What mouse do you have?
I've got an MX Master.
Oh, nice. How nice are they? I've been.
It honestly really depends. It's a really big mouse, which is why I like it. It's comfortable. But then something else I really like about this is the gesture button on the thumb.
Oh.
I use that religiously.
Huh.
I don't think I could go without it at this point. It was fairly expensive. I think I paid $60 for this as a refurb, but it's very worth it. The MX Master is just an expensive mouse altogether. I think the next big feature of it is the dark field laser that it uses, which you can track on glass.
Go on any surface. Yeah,
so,
I used to have.
So it's pretty cool, but yeah, not for everybody. Then there's actually an MX Master 2S, I believe it is, which is around now. I think its MSRP is $100.
Huh.
MX Master 2S on Amazon, you can get it for $75.
Yep.
Or you can get the regular MX Master for about $66. And then there's another 2S for $85 in the graphite color. Let's see. Walking Dead USA asked, what do you think about the Bakugan reboot so far compared to the other reboots like Teen Titans Go, the Powerpuff Girls, and Ben 10? I can't give you an answer for that because I haven't seen any of those other reboots.
Well, I think personally, I would consider the Bakugan reboot good. I mean, I know not everyone would consider it a good show. I mean, it's, subjective, but I personally enjoy it. So I'm going to say that Teen Titans Go is not true to its source material, and it was never intended to be.
The original creators had never even seen the original when they started making it.
Right. And so it's not meant... So Teen Titans Go is kind of a different story because it's not meant to take the place of the original Teen Titans. It's just a comedy show based off of the characters of the Teen Titans. If anything, it's a parody of the Teen Titans.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's probably how the writers for Teen Titans Go right now would treat it. So, I mean... And
actually, from what I've heard, the new show actually references the fact that fans complain about it an awful lot.
Yeah.
The show has referenced it. So it's basically a giant meme in that show at this point.
Yeah,
like there was a Make-A-Wish Kid episode where it was pretty much like, so who do you like more, the Teen Titans or the Teen Titans? And then the kid went with the second one, which was the old stuff. They're completely self-aware by now, according to Rowan.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fine.
So what? Was it a little bit like Sonic Boom? How eventually they just kind of stopped caring?
Probably. I mean, I think they realize at this point that their target audience is kind of just kids. So they pump out a lot of episodes, and it's just a goofy kid show, and that's really all it's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with Teen Titans Go existing. I wish Cartoon Network would scale it back on their schedule a little bit more because one or two of those slots could be used for other shows like Bakugan. But it's what's making them money, so you know.
Like there was this one image. Let me check it out here. It's the main image on the TV tropes page for Adored by the Network. Let me go ahead and show it off right here. This is from, I think, 2017. The
Oh
week
Lord.
starting Christmas Day, and it's just. Remember one
Oh
Christmas
wow.
week where Teen Titans Go was aired 99% of the time? Yeah, I'm just bringing that up. Look at this. This was Christmas 2017, and then
Is that one slot for Steven Universe?
two 15-minute blocks it looks like, but that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I remember that.
This
Yeah.
was, oh
I
my
mean,
god, that was horribly
yeah.
scary.
I mean, that basically is a great representation of Cartoon Network right now and
Hmm.
how they scale things because their two cash cows are Teen Titans Go, and then look at the bottom there and Steven Universe.
Hmm. Like, I think there was a point where they just kind of stopped caring about Steven Universe and weren't really even airing new episodes. Honestly, I'm pretty sure.
You mean every time they air new episodes of Steven Universe for 2 weeks and then it goes on hiatus for 7 months at a time?
Yeah, called a Steven bomb, I think.
Yes,
Yeah, and then
you get to see.
then you can see here on TV tropes, not pictured, the all-day marathon on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, there's actually it. Oh my God, Teen Titans Go has a separate sub page on Adored by the Network.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Huh.
Let's read a little bit of this. I'm curious. Teen Titans Go, being the comedy half of the DC Nation lineup, fell into this rather fast and quickly became the new SpongeBob SquarePants in terms of overexposure.
Yeah.
Yeah, A2. That's the browser I use now because Chrome is phasing out support for ad blockers,
Yeah.
more or less completely killing them.
Yep.
Let's
I
see.
switched to Brave as well.
La-
It's a good browser actually.
Later on, it became something of the default filler show whenever there wasn't a new episode of another series, which is quite often, or when Adult Swim wasn't on, quickly pushing other popular shows off the schedule almost completely, resulting in a few, such as Uncle, Grandpa, and Clarence, being unceremoniously canceled due to poor ratings. Ugh! And spawning conspiracy theories that Cartoon Network was willingly carrying out this practice to justify canceling any show Christina Miller, a known moral guardian, that's another trope, found inappropriate for kids. Yeah, shoot. The world is not ready for this much Teen Titans Go. I think from the few schedules I've seen, even like Christmas 2018, around that week, because I remember looking to see if Battle Planet was 100% on the schedule at that point. I didn't see much Teen Titans Go.
Well, that's just because Christmas week they actually ran Amazing World of Gumball marathons, which is actually a great show and is very binge worthy.
Mm. Yes, let's see.
I actually really love Amazing World of Gumball.
Oh, look.
It's a very political show actually. Fun fact.
From the clips I've seen, absolutely. Let's see. It has been given its own page here because it is one of the most noteworthy and conspicuous examples of any TV series, animated or otherwise, being overexposed by its network.
Yeah.
Dang. It's that infamous. By
Yeah.
2017 to 18, this practice began to die down as the series' popularity waned, and Cartoon Network lost a large portion of its viewership, mainly longtime viewers, to Nickelodeon and Disney XD.
Yeah.
I think if there's another network that could take over Cartoon Network in being like the prime cartoon network, it's Disney XD.
And yet Disney XD is trying to commit suicide. They're trying to move their main series off of it.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they're trying to kill Disney XD. and just get rid of it altogether, I think, and just have everything on Disney again. Because
Jeez.
what is on Disney Channel nowadays? Because I don't know anything on Disney
I
Channel at
don't
all.
know. It's mostly like sitcoms. I thought it
But
was
what
just. I thought it was just
sitcoms?
sitcoms. They're all like. So something I noticed with Disney is they tend to kill off their shows after 4 seasons, and it's fairly like abrupt. Like you know
Hmm.
how some shows, like well after like their cancellation, like just to give I guess a bit of a decent example, let's think Ed, Ed and Eddie on Cartoon Network.
Hmm.
After it was done, it continued to air reruns for I think a few years.
Yeah.
But the way Disney worked is 4 seasons, finale, maybe a rerun or two for the next couple months, and then you just never saw it again.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I wish I could see more like That's So Raven and Cory in the House. Good
Yeah.
shows, but due to how Disney deals with their stuff, not there anymore.
It's shown. Yeah, Teen Titans Go in the Amazing World of Gumball. Honestly, Gumball deserves that slot though. Like honestly, the creators are super funny, and I really like the show. So Gumball having a prominent time slot, I don't have any issue with. Like honestly, I can't say enough about Gumball because it's a really good show.
Alright.
um.
Alright.
Yeah. I
Guess
mean,
we're done talking about
see,
that for
I
a
don't
little
even.
bit. I'll switch back.
Yeah, I don't even think Teen Titans Go is that bad of a show. Like, it has its moments of just being really dumb, but other than that, it's not even a horribly written show. It's just kind of, hey, kids, we're cool, right? Like, we can do the Fortnite dances.
Oh god.
Speaking of, have you ever seen the video on Cartoon Network of Cartoon Network characters doing Fortnite
I
dances?
don't watch TV, but now I really don't want to see it. Sergeant's like, but still, a whole day of Teen Titans Go. What the hell?
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, it's a bit mad, but that was end of 2017 was easily the worst point.
yeah.
And actually, does Powerpuff Girls 2016 still run or at least get new episodes?
I don't know.
Does that even still happen?
Yeah, does anyone know if that still happens? Because I haven't heard anything about it in forever.
Powerpuff Girls 2016. Let's see. All right, Wikipedia. What can you give me? April 4th through present.
So it's still going.
Okay, so looks like what we have here is the shorts in Powerpuff Girls 2016. There were 10 of them from. Well, actually, that's in general. Never mind. Then there was season 1, 39 episodes from April to December 2016. Season 2 was 43 episodes from March 2017 to May 2018. Season 3 started the same day Season 2 ended and is still ongoing. But
Really?
let's take a look at how recently these episodes were. Oh god. Oh
How
jeez.
how recent?
Okay, so let's just take a look here. We got several like 20-minute blocks, which is interesting. I thought a show like this would be in a 10-minute blocks, but okay. Let's see. Let's just go back to episode 97 was August 26th. Episode 98 was the same day. In fact, let me actually show it. There you go. So episode 98 happened August 26th. 99 through 102, a 4-part arc was. Oh, maybe these are. I don't know.
Huh.
But then there was a 4-episode arc on September 2nd. Then another episode on October 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And then we scroll to the next one. December 16th. Almost
Oh wow.
2 months. And look at how many views it got. 47,000 on episode 103, 40,000 on episode 104. And interestingly enough, the 4-part arc only got 340,000.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then if we take a look at 105 and 106, these two do not have an air date.
Dang.
Oh,
So it's probably gonna get axed soon.
that's gonna get the axe, and it only hit 3 seasons.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good show. Like,
Uh,
straight up, it's
I
not a
I
good show.
I've heard things. The only one I'm really familiar about is I've heard a little bit about Painbow, but
Yeah.
not too sure about it. Then there's maybe Horn Sweet Horn. I don't know. Maybe it was a further one. But there's Bye Bye Bellum where they uh, ditched Miss Bellum,
Mm.
which is a pity. What was the one I was looking at? It's one the mysterious Mr. Enter made a review on. I've seen that review several times. Was it Painbow? It might have been.
Probably.
It might have been Painbow because the description doesn't match. Oh, Unnaturally Happy. Yeah, there you go. It was that one. That's the only one I'm familiar with.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what kind of time slot this show has. It has to be pretty prime, right?
That's actually a good question. Let me search that up for now. Let's see. Let's see if this gives me anything.
Clone Wars is returning, isn't it? Only on Disney streaming service? I'm pretty sure it's only on Disney streaming service that it's coming back.
Okay, let's actually take a look at a... Please no autoplay, please no autoplay. And of course this is Cartoon Network Canada, so this probably isn't going to help me much.
Probably not. No.
But yeah, this really isn't going to help me, but it'll show us a little bit of stuff here. This is Cartoon Network Canada, and this is what we have here so far. We got regular show, a fair bit of it, starting at midnight, which is really strange in the US. That's an Adult Swim time slot. Then we have Adventure Time for an hour, Chowder for half an hour. God, it's been a while since I've seen Chowder. Wait! Cartoon Network Canada. Showing
What?
Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
But
Land
this is like
of...
this is a 2:30 a.m. slot though.
Yeah, that's... But still. Like, okay.
Marvelous
and then we have
Misadventures of Flapjack.
Flapjack, Billy and Mandy, Chowder again. I love how the title of that episode is just Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack 34. I love that. Then Chowder again. It looks like a rerun, though. It is a rerun of the one from 2:30. And then
So
Foster's
they
Home
basically
again, Powerpuff Girls. And then
Is
they
that
have...
the new one, or
This is the new one. And then we have Powerpuff Girls Teen Titans Go versus Powerpuff Girls. At least I assume that's what TTG refers to in this case.
Yeah, definitely.
Then again, Super Noobs for an hour. I'm not familiar with that show.
Is that in the U.S.?
Good question. I'm gonna be smart here. And the answer is... yes.
Huh.
Let's see. Started in the United Kingdom and Ireland in November 2015. And then on January of last year, the second season will air on its family channel instead of Teletoon. So kicked out of Teletoon, I guess. And then the second season was picked up by Cartoon Network across Europe, the Middle East and Africa, and by Hulu in the United States.
So it's not on Cartoon Network in the U.S. It's on Hulu.
It's not on Cartoon Network in the U.S.
Huh. Man, we were just going down a rabbit hole tonight. That's fun.
A 1 hour special of Powerpuff Girls. Mighty Magiswords. I thought that show was dead.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Shall we check?
Yeah, I think Canada just likes reruns, apparently. I mean, makes sense. Teletoon probably has all the major... Yeah, actually, Teletoon would probably be a better gauge, because they pretty much have all the licenses for all the same Cartoon Network shows. so they
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause
probably
Cartoon Network Canada's kind of eh.
seems more like a rerun kind of dealio, kind
Oh,
of
oh,
like
okay. Yeah, this looks more this looks more accurate. Take a look. Teletoon schedule. Midnight. Archer. There we are.
yeah.
That's more like it. Cleveland Show. Family Guy. Bravest Warriors. That's on Adult Swim or whatever they're doing.
What?
3 in the morning.
No, they just start their kids block early, I guess.
Okay, then we have Gumball at 4. Total Dramarama at 4:30. Teen Titans Go for an hour.
Yeah.
Hotel Transylvania. Total Dramarama again. Teen Titans Go for another hour and a half. We Bear Bears
It's also a good show.
for half an hour. Unikitty for an hour. Lego DC Superhero Girls. I've never heard of that, but it looks like it's almost a it's a TV movie.
Yeah.
10 a.m. to 11:45.
Yeah, you know, those, yeah, how Cartoon Network will just kind of run a TV movie on the middle of the day kind of thing.
Uh-huh. And Justice League Action for the remaining 15 minutes. Transformers Rescue Bots Academy.
Huh.
Is that another reboot?
I mean, Rescue Bots is a thing. I think it might be just like a second or like season or thing.
Then there's Teen Titans Go for another half hour. Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. That's on Cartoon Network and Teletoon?
Is it? Well, it would be on Teletoon. I don't know about Cartoon Network. Because Teletoon, even though their website looks identical to Cartoon Network's, they are not owned by the same company.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact.
Transformers Cyberverse. 2 different Transformers shows running at the same time. Beyblade Burst. OKKO.
Yeah.
Super Dinosaur. Chop Chop Ninja. Okay, at this point I think we're hitting Canadian cartoons.
Yeah.
Because I don't recognize Super Dinosaur or Chop Chop Ninja at all. In
Super
fact, I
Dinosaur
think,
might-
wait.
Is-
Doesn't Devin Mack voice act in both of those shows?
I think so. I mean, it's Canadian. I think Super Dinosaur is also a Spin Master property, but I
Oh
could be
yeah,
wrong.
I think it might be actually. Then we got Gumball again,
Yep.
Cupcake and Dino, General Services, more Teen Titans Go for an hour and a half, Total Dramarama, We Bear Bears for actually a while,
Yeah.
like
Weaver.
an hour,
Weaver.
an hour,
Yeah. Weaver Bears is a pretty good show, so.
and
it
then we get
makes
into
sense.
more like teen stuff, Young Justice, X-Men Origins.
Because apparently only teens are allowed to be awake past 7:45.
Yeah, it's strange, huh?
But yeah.
God, and that's on a Sunday, but Cupcake and Dino is only on Netflix. Maybe in America.
Yeah. It is probably just a Canadian show that gosh,
Let's actually find out.
yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. This is just a
Okay.
rabbit hole of
Oh yeah, an animated television show created and directed by Pedro Ibolai for Netflix. The series is a Canada-Brazil co-production, also developed and co-executive produced by Mark Satterthwaite.
Huh.
Satterthwaite. That's a hard thing to say. Sergeant says I'm Canadian, but I have no 2 clues.
Huh.
So yeah, it is a Netflix thing, but I guess Teletoon. Yeah,
Must.
original network, Netflix and Teletoon. Look at that.
Wacky.
And it looks like, from what we can tell here, it seems like the episodes air about a month and a half maybe like a month and a week later in Canada.
Yeah.
Progressively later. I mean, then again, the entire season.
Yeah, the entire season
the
drops
entire
at once.
season
And then it's a
dumps
weekly thing.
on Netflix, and then it about a month and a week later it shows up on Teletoon, and then it's just
Yep.
2 episodes a week actually, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. You'd think since it's a Netflix show, they could just dump like all of them in like that early morning time slot, but maybe Teletoon actually, cares about some shows.
Remember Bobo 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 Bo? I need to go back and watch the rest of that show. I don't remember much from it, but what I remember is wacky.
What is it?
Oh my god, I need to like grace you with this. Oh, you know what? I can't even. I don't want to show it on here because copyright. But it's a show.
Huh.
Which is horribly stupid.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, it's so based on a manga. I guess that's probably it's a Shonen Jump manga, so there's that too.
Oh, okay.
This is just one example of it. Here's a screen cap from an episode, and there's this.
Wait, why? Why is episode 13 airing before episode 12? Wait, what is that? Is that for
Probably in reference to no. No, okay, I need to go back in this. Yeah, what? Okay. Yeah, this is what he means.
Probably just a scheduling error. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, episode 13 here, and then episode 12 shows up.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looks like a scheduling error. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Like, I think... Oh, and oddly enough, what's interesting here is a production code for Cupcake and Dino. You look down here, code 122 is missing.
Huh.
Oh, that's actually a bit out of view for you guys. So let me tweak this on the fly. I can't tweak this on the fly, can I? Yes, I can. But yeah, you can see right there. Code 122 is gone.
Huh.
So this is just a wild trip we're going on. There's another example of how wacky this show is.
Oh no. Oh no.
It is the greatest thing. Oh man.
That's wacky.
Oh jeez. Okay, I need to find this clip and then play it. Copyright be damned. There it is.
Over, I will defeat.
I'm sure we're fine.
Apologies.
We'll just commentate over it and talk about, commentary. So it's fair use.
Alright. Alright. Here it is. Let's, I'm actually going to turn desktop audio slightly down. Right about there. And here we go. Enjoy.
Over, I will defeat you with my next attack. So now you've had your warning. The attack I'll use is forbidden by the code of the fist of the nose hair. It could cost me my video store membership. Here goes! Monkeyland Super Fist! Huh?
When did they get here?
I prepped all these primates 3 days ago. Number 56, you go in here.
Right! You serious? Why are they all ringing at the same time?
I figured out these ringing sounds will destroy the eardrums of whoever they see as the enemy. It won't be long before you won't be able to take it anymore. This is torture. My head's gonna explode. What can I do?
What is this?
That's the point.
Answer it!
Welcome to Bo 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 Bo.
Here, the call's for you.
It's the wrong number, jerk!
Nice going, guys. Now let me use my telemarketer attack to finish him off.
This is a collect call from Grandma Hungover. Will you accept the charges? Hello, Ovi Poo. You hurt our feelings. Wait, he didn't mean you guys.
At least the ringing in my ears is gone. Huh? That's it! One of you put the phone on
Oh,
my
no.
head, and I know who it was! You forgot I have caller ID!
Not me. My phone's forwarded to another head.
Not me. My phone number's unlisted.
That's right. And there's no way I could have done it. My minutes aren't free on weekends.
It was you!
How did he know?
It's
This is
so dumb.
early. This
It's
is so
so
early
dumb.
2000s.
That's the point.
Oh man.
That's the point.
Oh wow. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, it's so early 2000s because it is. The show came out from 2001 to oh wait, that's the manga. 2003 to 2005.
Yeah. No, so it is early 2000s. Beautiful.
Oh, God, I miss that show. There are tons of like stupid parts of that entire show.
Oh, that's great.
A2, I remember that show. Great times. And then Sergeant. It's almost too crazy for even Japan. A little bit. But you want to hear nuts. I guess while we're on the topic of like anime and shows and stuff, have you guys ever heard of Ghost Stories?
No.
For those of you that don't know, it's an anime, I think late 90s. So it's fairly old. It could be early 2000s. But basically what it was supposed to go on in Japan, but it failed hard. So when it came to the US to be dubbed, it ended up, the actors were basically given a direction, just do whatever you want. And so they did, and it was absolute insanity, just what even was going on. I'm not going to play any clips of it here, but do look into it. It's called Ghost Stories. Get the dub specifically. That's gold.
Huh.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
Oh man. Well, that was a rabbit hole of just randomness.
Bring back Futurama. How many times was Futurama canceled again? I feel like it was
I think
canceled about
like
5.
3.
I feel like it was canceled, 3 times, and it kept getting picked back up.
Yeah.
2 or 3.
I don't-
I know
see-
Family Guy was canceled once.
Yeah, Family Guy was canceled once, but I think
The only 90s anime that I kind of know is Initial D and Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop was 90s? I thought it was early 2000s as well. I remember that on TV when I was a kid.
I mean,
I know I'm
they
not
just
that
could have gone
old,
for a
but
long time.
that's fair. Now, Initial D, I'm sure, is very old, and I think, maybe Yu Yu Hakusho is probably on the same wavelength. Let's see. Yu Yu Hakusho, television series was from 92 to 94. Yep, old show. Initial D was 98 to 98. Yeah. Late 90s, how about that? And then Wind says the only 90s anime he knows is the OVA for TMNT. If you haven't seen it, now is a better time than any.
Huh.
Okay. Cowboy Bebop aired in Japan from 98 to 98 and other places 98 to 99. There was a movie in 2001.
Huh.
Wow. Just from the one little image here on Wikipedia, it doesn't look that old. It really doesn't look that old.
No, not really.
Apparently there's an... And the Sonic OVA. What? There's a Sonic OVA?
I mean,
Let's
Sega
see.
is Japan.
True. Walking Dead USA. Apparently there's an anime called Sazae-san that has aired over 7,000 episodes. Let's take a look. Oh, hello. Wow. Oh, okay. It started off in a Japanese newspaper in 1946.
Wait, what is this?
It's called Sazae-san.
Huh.
Or Sazae-san, I guess. And it started in Hasegawa's newspaper on April 22nd, 1946.
Holy cow.
An anime adaptation began airing in October 1969 and holds the Guinness World Record for longest running animated television series.
Is it still going on?
In the meantime, the longest running Western cartoon is The Simpsons and has only been going on, I think, since, 72? I think? Yeah. October 5th, 1969 to present, there are 2,500 episodes in 7,500 segments.
Holy crap.
Jeez. And it all started from 4-panel comics. Holy cow. On September 5th, 2013, Sazae-san was awarded the Guinness World Record for the longest running animated television series in the world. As of November 2015, 7,332 episodes have aired.
What is it even? What is it even about?
It's an anime comedy. And I'm assuming, okay, it's been broadcast every Sunday from 6:30 to 7 and contains 3 vignettes. I was about to say, I wonder if they're just like 5-minute segments, but yeah, 10,000 comic strips. Respect.
Dang. Oh, it's hot dogs. How you doing, hot dogs?
Oh, Hato's in. Cool.
Yeah, Otto's in.
Yeah, I'm just here for a quick second.
Then why'd you even join, you nerd?
Well, we're sitting here going down a massive rabbit hole of just TV shows.
Oh, goodness gracious, why is no one else joining?
That's actually curious. It's a Saturday, and I expect other people would have been on, but no, really everyone's kind of gone.
Unless, you know...
Like, I think Corbin's probably busy. Sync was supposed to join, be that stupid nerd, but no, he's gone.
And, Peggy was on for a little bit.
Yeah, Peggy was on for a very brief moment.
Sorry. And A2's just in chat. He's not talking to us.
Oh, okay, so when I said I think Simpsons was like early 70s, no, it first aired in late 1989. It basically started in 1990.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So it's definitely I think the longest running and still airing TV series in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But still. Okay, let's see. Sink says water takes a long time. Nerd.
Yeah.
All you
obviously.
have to do is get a water bottle like I do.
Yeah, just gotta, fill it up. Futurama Simpsons says wind. I agree.
Yeah,
Definitely agree.
Futurama is definitely better. That's another show I need to watch.
I've never seen any of them. I've seen a bit of The Simpsons, but not much.
How have you never watched any? How have you not watched The Simpsons or Futurama?
Because I'm not American.
So? You have like 90% of the same television networks.
And
And
no
I
excuse.
guarantee you can go on TV right now and find a channel airing The Simpsons.
I don't have cable.
No, that makes sense.
Zeta says, why do all my favorite Bakugan molds have to be released in non-Ventus factions?
Well, you
Rip
see,
Ventus fans.
yeah, you just don't do Ventus. Do the best attribute, Darkus.
Well, it's gonna the next
No,
reboot's gonna be sad.
be pro and just go full Orless, even though you
Oh, yeah.
can't right now.
Yeah, there's technically tournaments illegal, which is funny.
Is it?
Well,
Yeah, because you don't have enough
actually,
cards.
to be completely fair, hi Corbin. To be completely fair, it'd be stupid to do in any other deck, but I think if there are like 14 Auralist cards with Evos, actually, yeah, there's probably not even that. You can run 3 copies of every Auralist Evo and have a game legal deck.
There's only 4 Orless Evos as far as I know of.
Only 4?
I
Yeah.
believe there's actually 8.
Yeah, that's not.
Let me look.
That's
I
not,
have the
that's
page
not
up.
able to work.
2, 3.
I thought there was less,
not
but I
quite.
must have missed that entirely.
There are
'cause I
9
was-
that we know.
9 that
Sorry,
nine that we know. So that's 3 copies.
still
3
not
copies of each is 27.
I know why,
That's
because
not
I
enough.
I missed all the Titans and a few of the others.
Oh.
Alright, which do you think is better game-wise and TV show-wise so far? The old Bakugan or the new Bakugan?
New.
Let's do each one
New.
do each one
Okay,
separately,
okay.
even though it doesn't matter, because both answers are new.
Yeah.
Windmill Slam new.
Yeah. It's definitely the new.
Uh-huh.
Like you can't
100%.
even say there was an old game
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there wasn't.
there really wasn't.
I was gonna say that McCain and Surge had the best gameplay because Mectagon.
Shut up.
Shut up!
We
Bing
don't.
bong, your opinion is wrong.
Actually, hey, speaking of new game rules, why don't we take a look at that, huh? A few days
fun.
ago, Bakugan released an official complete rulebook for the trading card game.
Just scroll down a little bit. I love how they have the they have a table of contents, but it's not clickable.
Yeah, you can't click the table of contents, and it sucks.
Anybody gonna tell Vijay about
Also 1.3, the ultimate rules. One word. TM.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got spun.
See, there's all sorts of stuff like this. So let's see what we got. Alright, game concepts. And a lot of this is redirects.
Oh, we have multiplayer rules too.
Really? Oh,
It's
that's...
ju- It's literally the same, except it's clockwise turn order.
Oh, interesting.
Oh wait, there is no turn order. It's clockwise priority order.
Alright,
Yeah.
let's see what we got here. Let's see. The following rules apply to the full version of the game consisting of 2 players, multiplayer, see section 8, cardless, which is the toy game, see section 9. Before playing, each player is required to have 3 Bakugan toys along with their character cards, 6 cores, and a 40 card deck. We know that much. We know about the Bakucore rule. We need to mention them. Deck construction, I don't think there's anything special here.
Probably
No
not.
more than 3 copies of the card name, and card set. Wait. So does that mean if you end up getting re-releases, and let's say Titan Dragonoid, for example, gets re-released in Bakugan Resurgence, does this mean you can run 6 copies, 3 from each?
No.
Identified by the card name and card set, though.
Yes, that means between card sets, they still count together.
Good, because that'd be
can,
really broken when they end up.
For example, in Yu-Gi-Oh, I can have an original release Dark Magician, a Dark Magician from 2010, and a Dark Magician from last year, and they count as my 3 period. I can't have 9 Dark Magician.
Right.
Exactly.
I think the issue here with the wording, which is why like it could be an issue, is the and card set.
Yes. That needs to be reworded to be clear on what it means.
Yeah, definitely.
Then why state card set at all? Good question.
That's a fair criticism, because if you say, okay, you can only have 3 of a card identified by card name, fine. You can only have 3 Dark Magician, you can only have 3 Titan Dragonoid, you can only have 3, I don't know, Buster Blader, whatever. You can only have 3 of thing. That's it.
Right. No more than 3 copies of each card. That's all you really have to say. Identified by the card name, okay, specifying it a little better. And then I think something else that could probably help a little bit is like by faction as well. Because that would mean you'd have like, say, 2 sets of Hyper Hydrus, like one in Aquas and one, say, in Chaos or whatever.
Aurelus, because it's the best one.
Aurelus Hyper Hydrus doesn't even exist yet. We've talked about this.
In my heart, because we all know what we're talking about.
Right. But yeah, that's a little bit of a thing. Spin Master, Bakugan, if you're by any chance watching this, take that out. It could be confusing.
Where's Ventus Knight?
Come on, Ventus Knight.
He'll watch the VOD.
Our VODs go unlisted.
I mean, this one could be public.
Honestly, it could, and I probably will.
No one has said an oopsie word yet so far.
No one said oopsie stuff.
Oh,
no.
Right.
See, I think A2 mentioned a while ago that puddings are fine, but not any other kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. 122. Corbin can swear. Oh yeah, A2's in here now. Speak of the devil.
Hi, I heard my name.
Alright, 122. Players may not include cards in their deck that do not share a faction with at least 1 Bakugan on their team. We knew that already. And then players must use Bakugans that match the symbols indicated on the Bakugan indicator. That is just a repeat of 1121. I guess for a subset of deck construction, it's probably decent. Then the alternate rules. Cards can contradict the basic rules of the game. In the case that this happens, follow the text on the card. Like, I think probably the big one here is an example I can think of is Black Hole. It completely ends the turn right then and there, even though you technically still have the re-energize or the recharge step.
Mm-hmm. Well, it explicitly says no, you don't. Correct?
Yeah,
right.
it specifically says end the turn and start with the next. End the current turn and start with the next draw phase.
Yeah, but
it even specifies like no further damage is taken. Cards do not get recharged. It even does that. So that's a big thing there. The word can't overrides any cards or effects that would otherwise happen. Have we seen an example of that yet?
Don't think we have. Also, Walking Dead USA, they already have in the Invitational.
Yeah.
To be fair, there weren't really any Bakugan YouTubers in that one.
Are there any?
Yeah. I mean, Negative Legend.
Yeah, you could argue Negative Legend, and then Ilanuk definitely up and coming in.
And then Kimbo also had a ton of Bakugan content, and his original content on his channel was Bakugan content.
True. It seemed like a lot of Beyblade and Yu-Gi-Oh people.
Yeah.
Okay. Good God. Why didn't they just write it? Card text overrides the regular rules.
Because that's not legalese enough.
In the case that this happens, follow the text. Let's see. Cards complete in the order that their text reads from top to bottom. If there's an effect that can't be completed, it's ignored and keep going. In the case that a player has multiple effects that occur at the same time, that player chooses the order for these effects to happen.
So you get to choose how your cards batch.
Essentially, yeah.
Cool.
Starting the game, 3 character cards face down, corresponding folded up Bakugan on top of the character card. Randomly determine a player to be the starting player. I think the one they use here is flipping a Bakucore.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more of that in 7.5. Let's see. Speaking of Bakugan YouTubers, I miss Bakugan Sensei. We all do.
Yeah.
At least we have Jack Kuzo, though. He's pretty rad.
Right,
I actually got to talk to him the other day. He's a pretty cool dude.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Beginning with the starting player, each player takes turns placing their 6 Bakukores in the center of the play area, starting equidistant from each player, one at a time. So pretty much the center. Yep, that's what it said. Each Bakucore after the first must be placed with at least one side completely touching another Bakucore. So it's not like you can set one away and then connect them. It has to be connected right away. Each player shuffles their own deck and then gives it to their opponent, who may also choose to shuffle or cut. Then each player draws 5 cards from their own deck. I'm glad that rule is in there, because I probably would have added it otherwise. I'm glad that's there.
I mean, that's just a card game thing. After the initial shuffle, you always allow the opponent the chance, and they can either tap it and let them know that you trust the opponent and hand it back, or you can do your shuffle and cut.
Right.
Generally how it is. They don't have to accept the chance to do it, but you must give them that chance.
Mm-hmm.
That's a requirement.
All right. Let's see. Ending it, when a player would be dealt any damage and there are no cards remaining in their deck, they lose. There's 6 factions: Aquas, Aurelus, Darkus, Chaos, Pyrus, and Ventus. It's mostly just a bunch of game info. And then energy. Hey, Ren. You listening?
Yeah, is Ren listening? Because Ren didn't understand how energizing works in the game.
It's not.
Here's how this works. Energy is the fundamental resource used to play cards and generate effects. The primary way to create energy is by uncharging energy cards. That is strange nomenclature.
Huh.
Uncharging energy cards. I'm pretty sure in like the booklet that come with the starters and the ultras, they call it energize.
Yeah.
No. That's not what they're saying here.
I mean...
They're saying uncharge as in tap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really weird. Creating energy.
Yeah. I see how. Yeah, I know.
Like
what
uncharge,
they mean.
primary way to create energy, and then players may not uncharge an energy card to produce energy unless they need it to play a card.
You're not allowed to float your mana.
Huh.
That's all that means.
Explain for a card game noob, please.
So, in Magic the Gathering...
Floating doesn't make sense to me. Because it's never really been explained.
Well, then let me explain it.
Yes, please.
So, in Magic the Gathering, the term floating is where you can tap or uncharge your lands or energy and just let the energy sit while you wait to use it.
Oh.
So, this gets by that to where you're not allowed to just do that and go infinite, because a lot of combos in Magic are tap your whatever gives you mana, untap it, you still have the leftovers. So you can tap it again and get double, or triple, or quadruple, or infinite.
Well.
So this completely bypasses that. You can only uncharge your energy if you are going to use it immediately.
I see. Otherwise, it's pretty much like you lose it, I guess.
No, you just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not even an option for you to mess up and just lose your chance. You physically cannot.
Yes.
I see. Alright. Players may spend any energy they produce throughout the turn, but any unspent energy disappears at the end of the turn. So that's like the phantom energy cards. Like, I don't have an idea against me, but
stuff
there's one,
like
I think
Power Ritual.
And then there's E's hero card, which I think gives you, what, +3 energy when a Bakugan opens?
Yes, that is what he does.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's what Negleg does.
Yep.
Alright, let's see. Numbers. Additive numbers add to the total of whatever the player is counting. Negative numbers subtract from the total of whatever it is the player is counting. If a Bakugan's damage rating becomes negative, it is treated as 0 when counting damage and does not subtract from a team attack. The letter X will appear on some cards. This is a variable and can have different values throughout the game.
Wait.
I know there's one, I think it's a Ventus action card, which can be played with any number of energy.
Wait, hold on. 8111. Doesn't when it becomes 0 and doesn't subtract from a team attack. That's wrong, right? Because if a Bakugan has a Baku core, the order is you add up your Bakugan's damage, and then you add up your core. You add up the additions of damage from your cores, and then you add your minuses.
In that case, here, but it's talking about like a. Oh wait, actually, I don't know because
it talks about team attacks.
We'll talk.
It says it does not subtract from team attacks.
Rule 512 will explain it a bit later. Okay. While a card with X in the cost is in your hand, deck, discard pile, or in play, the X counts as 0. While a card with an X in the cost is in the batch, the X counts as whatever amount of energy was spent to pay it. Okay.
If you play X for 4, it counts as 4 until it resolves.
Right.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay, let's see. Good God, I've not made any board games in my life. The closest thing is my Bakugan Rule Redux, and I can make more clear rules than people who are paid thousands of dollars to do the same thing. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
There's a reason Bakugan meta exists, and that's for the legacy game. Okay, let's see. Symbols are used. Faction icons are symbols that represent the different factions. Keyword icons are symbols that indicate a particular keyword. They're Frost Strike, Double Strike, and Shadow Strike.
And we're probably going to get more in the future.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Cards,
which I look forward to.
Cards, there are before a game starts, there are only 2 places cards may appear: in a deck and in a Bakugan character card zone. Only Bakugan character cards can be found in the character card zone at the start of the game and are not to be shuffled into a deck. Let's see. During a game, the toy and character card that it comes with both represent the same Bakugan. The toy is the object used for rolling and playing the game, while the character card contains all the attributes and abilities of the toy. One cannot exist without the other.
That is completely fair.
Alright. Baku cores are the hexagon-shaped discs that have 2 sides, a top and bottom side. On the top side, there's only an icon identifier, while the bottom side will have modifying abilities that will interact with the Bakugan that pick the core up. Making selections. There are cards and abilities that will require their controller to make a selection. If a card or ability needs a selection, that selection must be made before the card can be played. If there are no selections available for that card or ability, it cannot be played. So essentially, if you try to play it and then...
If you have no legal targets, you can't do the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I actually have a small bit of a question here.
Yeah.
There's a... So, just in theory here, like, the way to get China Riot and to be able to play it for free, right?
Correct.
It has to be discarded due to a card effect.
Yes, it has to be discarded from hand by card effect.
Right. There are, let's just say, on one of the darkest flips. How do I not have any of them? I don't have it here, but there was I think one darkest flip that costs 4 energy, stops non-darkest, but for sacrifice, you can discard a card to play it for free. Obviously, you discard China, and you get to play China for free as well, based on the rule. But that whole stop non-Darkus, if you go against a Darkus, can you still use that effect to play China for free?
No, because as it said, things happen in order on the card. So if the first thing can't happen, which is the main effect, you can't sacrifice to add on to that effect because it won't happen.
No, I thought how it was up here, if you can't use the first effect, you ignore it. Where does that say? Where does it say?
It's an addition to the activation
Cards
of the
complete in order. If an effect can't be completed, that part of the card is ignored and continue completing any additional text.
It is cost for the effect. It's the same reason why in the last weekly duel, VK couldn't have picked that card back up. That he discarded for sacrifice.
Confusing rules.
You mean
TLDR, no, you cannot.
You mean the reason he could pick it back up?
No.
Well, he did pick it up, right?
That's because that's what they agreed on because the official rules weren't out.
But he said later on that, yes, he would have picked it up.
Okay, let's see here. And continuing on, in the instance that a selection is no longer valid after a card or ability has been played, the card attempts to complete as much of its text as possible.
See, that conflicts with... whatever. Next.
Cards that affect Bakugan but do not explicitly call out for a selection can apply to any face-up Bakugan.
We have cards like that?
I think the, like, the plus and minus, like, B power and damage cards, like, say, like, plus 200B, you could give that to your opponent, I think, because it doesn't target.
Right, correct. Okay, yeah.
Alright, priority and timing. Here we go. Long section already. At the start of each turn, the player who won the most recent brawl becomes the starting player. The player who placed the final Bakugan during the game's initial setup is the starting player on the first turn of the game. When a player has priority, they may choose to play cards and use abilities. If they choose not to add to a batch, C44, the most recent card or ability added to the batch completes. Once a card or ability completes, priority is returned to the starting player. Alright.
So, what they're saying is, what about passing priority? If you don't play something, it opens priority to whomever?
When a player has priority, I think it basically means their cards go first, and if they choose not to play, then that's really confusing. Because what if you're the starting player, and I don't know. It's a bit of a mess.
No, let me read it. Okay. At the start of each turn, the player who won the most recent brawl becomes the starting player. The player who placed the final Bakugan during the game's initial setup is the starting player on the first turn. When a player has priority, they may choose to play cards and use abilities. If they choose not to add to the batch... Okay, it's in 4.4. For passing priority, I assume.
Alright, so we'll probably hit that at some point.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving. After the starting player...
shortly.
Alright. After the starting player makes any gameplay decisions, the non-starting player gets an opportunity to make theirs. This continues until each player decides to make no further game actions in sequential order.
Okay, so yes.
Yes?
Yeah, if you choose not to do a thing, you pass priority. Easy.
Alright.
If the batch is the disc... That's not what the batch is.
Isn't the batch just like the set of cards played that turn or something?
The batch is the order of resolution. First in, first out. No, last in, first out. So if I activate card, my opponent gets to activate card in response. Their card resolves before mine.
Yeah, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, played in that order, it resolves 4, 3, 2, 1.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
It's like chains or like the stack, if you play other games.
Alright, once a card or ability is played, that player retains priority. That player may continue to play additional cards or abilities before the opponent has a chance to act. Once the player with priority decides that they don't have more to add to the batch, the other player is given priority. While a card is completing and some parts of the card have taken effect, no players have priority. The card being played must finish its effects before the starting player gets priority again.
If you let something start to resolve, it must resolve all the way before you get priority again.
Mm-hmm. When there are no cards or abilities played and neither player adds to the batch, play continues to the next step. So essentially when everyone's done playing cards.
Yeah, whenever both players are done activating effects, they mention to one another that, yes, I don't have anything else I want to do. And then you move to the next phase of the turn.
Right. Costs. A cost is any payment associated with using an ability or playing a card. Most costs are made in the form of energy at the top right, but there are also other costs that can modify a card. If there is an additional cost to pay when paying a card, it must be paid at the time the card or ability is being used, or else it is decided that the additional cost was not paid. So essentially, like that whole thing I was talking about, that flip, the 4 energy, stop non-Darkus, and if you discard a card, you can play it for free. That discard is the cost.
But it's still being used against a Darkus, which doesn't...
I'm just saying for that card in general.
No, the problem is you're using it against...
I'm just saying for that card in general. Forget about using it against a Darkus. We're past that. But going back to that example, going back to that card, the discard is the cost, would be considered the cost for that, because there'd be no energy involved at that point. Moving on. Damage. Dealing damage primarily comes from the damage rating of the character cards, but there are additional effects that can deal damage as well. When damage is being dealt, whatever initiated the damage is called the damage origin. Other ways to deal damage, I think Durin Dane.
Yeah, he deals a 5 damage Pyrus attack.
He deals a 5 damage attack as soon as a Bakugan opens, I think.
Yes. Walking Dead USA, you are correct, because they all trigger together. Sergeant...
Trouble is, this is a game for kids. That jargon should probably not exist. This is for the advanced game, and is more meant for, as Ventus Knight said, I believe on his Reddit post, more meant for advanced players who are looking for more clarification.
Like, this is what judges are going to be looking at.
Right. I think the game that kids are more expected to play is the basic toy battling game.
Yeah, so, like, this is fine. This lets you understand the complexity. You just have to know what you're reading.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I will be back in just a couple minutes. Hopefully.
Alright. So let's see. We've gotten that. When taking damage, the player being dealt damage flips that many cards from the top of their deck, one at a time, and places them into their discard pile. Nothing new there. Drawing a card. Players draw cards by taking the top card of their deck and putting it into their hand. Once per turn, this is a game action that takes place during the start phase, but there are also other effects that can cause the player to draw a card. If there are no cards remaining in a player's deck when they are directed to draw a card, the player skips that draw. However, unlike in, say, Yu-Gi-Oh! For example, not being able to draw a card does not make you lose. The only way you can lose is by taking damage with no cards in your deck. Alright. Parts of a card. This basically just goes over a bunch of things. Name, upper left. This is all just a bunch of stuff. Energy cost is in the top right. It indicates what a player must spend from their energy pool to play a card. Any additional cost listed on a card isn't a part of the energy cost. If an effect allows for a card to be played for free, it means that the energy cost is 0. I don't know why there's a 2 in brackets here.
Who knows?
Okay, let's see. Type line directly below the art, card type and faction, explaining the card types, the factions, a card with... Here's the interesting one. A card with 2 or more faction symbols is considered both factions.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any cards that match this description yet, but if they're coming, essentially that means you can technically have all 6 factions in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
Dual faction cards hype. That's going to be kind of interesting. And then effects may change a card's faction, but I don't think we've seen any of those yet. Set indicator conveys which card set a card was printed in. The text may include italicized text called flavor text, which has no game function. We haven't seen any of those yet. Have we seen?
Oh,
any?
I know why that 1 is there or that 2 is there. It's because this is literally copy and pasted from Ventus Knight's Reddit post, which had hyperlinks in it for references.
That would be why. Then where was the 1? Who cares? Alright, let's see. Art, B power. Character and Evo cards have a B power number listed on the left side, indicated by a number followed by the B power symbol, referred to herein as BP. If a character or Evo card has a B power value of 0 or lower, it is considered to be 0. So essentially, B power and damage cannot be negative.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. A Walking Dead USA. Does that mean that when you play a card like Sifting Ashes while using 3 Benton Dusk cards, does that mean that you'll get plus 1200 B power and plus 12 damage? What does Sifting Ashes do?
I'm not sure.
Is it an action? I don't think I own it yet. Draw 2, discard 2. Oh, and then I don't know what Benton Dusk does because I don't have the card yet.
Yeah.
It's a Pyrus action.
Is it Sifting Ashes? I don't think I have it.
Oh, I do. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. So what about Benton's hero card? What does that do?
I'm guessing it's plus B power and plus damage for... I'm guessing 606?
Let me check. Benton Dusk hero. See, Benton Dusk gives you plus 200B and plus 2 damage every time you discard a card. Yeah, so if you play Sifting Ashes and 3 Benton Dusks, essentially what that would do, you draw your first card, and that gives you plus 600 and plus 6, and then you draw your second card, and it gives you another plus 600 and plus 6. So yes, that is exactly what would happen. Plus 1200B and plus 12 damage. Okay. If an effect sets a character or Evo's B power to a specific value, it refers to a card's base B power. So that means, like, there's a one card I have, like, I think it's... Is it Cocoon Shield that sets a Bakugan's B power to 1000?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so that would make any Bakugan's base B power 1000. And as a ruling stated by Ventus Knight, if that effect were to happen on a Bakugan with Shadow Strike, which prevents lowering B power and damage, if a Bakugan with Shadow Strike has more than 1,000 B power, that effect does not work on it at all.
Yep.
Damage rating. Basically, damage can't be 0, and if it sets the damage rating to a specific value, it adjusts the base value. Baku Core indicator, all that stuff we know. Art credit, when applicable, is on the bottom left of a card and has no game function. Legal text, trademark and copyright. Collection number, which is basically, yeah, nothing too important. Card types. Character cards, they're not shuffled into a player's deck. Specific details about the Bakugan, and begin face down. Evo cards. They can only be played on a character card that matches in name and faction, so you can't use a Pyrus Titan Dragonoid on a Darkus Dragonoid. So yeah. Let's see. When an Evo card is played, it is placed on top of the character card of the appropriate Bakugan that player controls. If the character card was face down when the Evo card is played, first flip the character card face up, then play the Evo card on top of it. So that's how that works. I'm not sure if that was ever specified when VK answered that in chat.
Yeah.
Only the topmost Evo card's stats and abilities are counted for a Bakugan. Evo card's stats and abilities replace the underneath character card's stats and abilities. The topmost Evo card's stats, that's actually referring to the fact that you can evolve up the chain, so you can go from base to hyper to Titan to Maximus. You can't go from base to Maximus to Titan, you can only go up. And then there's the Diamond Evo cards, which can only go from base and can't go to anything else. So they're on their own separate chain. Let's see. Hero cards. At any point that a player has priority, that player may cast a hero card. And when it's played, place it in front of you on the play area, and they remain in play unless otherwise directed by a card or destroy effect. And then action card. When it's played, follow the text, then put it into your discard pile. If part of the card can't be completed, that part of the card is ignored. Action cards have an effect that only lasts throughout the turn. Then they revert to their original states. Wonder what is the highest B power and damage can be gained in one turn. Well, if we take a look at Pyrus Titan Dragonoid, you can use it in conjunction with Dan Kuzo's hero card and get plus 2,000 B power. So that's pretty good. Oh yeah, and then there's Magnus. Magnus's hero card, when you play it, a Bakugan gets plus 5,000 B power. Yep, right there. Imagine playing Magnus on a turn where you have Titan Dragonoid and Dan Kuzo out. That's 7,000 B power gained. A bit excessive because you really only need one of them to win. It's ridiculously expensive though. Magnus is an 8 cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Flip cards. Players may only play flip cards when they are flipped face from the top of their deck due to damage being dealt. If a player is dealt damage and flips a flip card, that player chooses whether or not to play that card before any other player gets an opportunity to play any cards and before any remaining damage is dealt. Played during the damage phase, they may add it to the batch, following normal priority rules. Energy cards. During the energize step, each player is given the opportunity to energize a card from their hand. This is why I like that whole, like, yeah, never mind. Energy cards have the card type energy while in play, but have their printed card type in any other zone. And once you energize a card, while it is treated as an energy card, you can't look at the text of it. Under no circumstances. Zones. Any place a game piece may be during the game. It'll go over in more detail. Cards in decks and in the batch cannot change order during the game. In addition, Bakukors on the core field may not be rearranged unless the rules require it. Other zones may be arranged and rearranged at their controller's preference, as long as their opponent is made aware of the changes being made. Let's see. When a card moves zones, that card returns to its written text. Modifications to cards do not carry over from one zone to another. The deck, 40 cards, no more than 3 copies, and they all need to share factions. A single face-down pile. You can't look at the cards in either deck or change the order of the contents during a game, of course, unless otherwise specified by a card. This is where that one rule, like card trumps rules, comes into play, and that whole shuffling thing goes into effect. Players are allowed to ask for the remaining number of cards in the opponent's deck at any time, and then you're allowed to pick up, the opponent is allowed to pick up their deck and count it face down. Alright, hand. Keep cards that you've drawn throughout the game. Let's see. Look into the cards. A player may look into the cards in their hand at any time, but those cards remain hidden from their opponent. You're not allowed to have more than... Ooh! You're not allowed to have more than 7 cards in their hand at the end of a turn. If a player does have more than 7 cards, that player must choose 7 to keep and discard the rest. This is a little different from Yu-Gi-Oh!, where once you hit 7, you have to discard a card and end with 6 in your hand. Here, you can end with 7. That's interesting. Players are allowed to ask for the number of cards in the opponent's hand at any time. When a player is asked, they must count their hand and tell the opponent the appropriate number. And my dog is barking again. Nice. I'm actually going to have to let them out at some point. I don't think anyone in my family is home yet. Alright, let's see. Info about the batch. Actually, I think I'm going to take care of my dogs real quick. This will give Corbin a little bit more time to show back up. I'm going to put this... Walking Dead USA, we were just talking about that. Alright, so I'm going to put this on pause for now. It'll give Corbin a little bit to come back. I'm dealing with dogs. And, yeah, I'll BRB. And we're back.
Ooh.
My dogs and the dogs of the house behind me like to do this interesting thing where when they're both out at the same time, they meet at the back fence, bark up a storm, and slowly but surely destroy parts of the fence.
Oh, okay. That sounds like fun.
It's super annoying. Whenever that happens, it's usually a mad dash by us to get our dogs inside before the people in the back scream at us. And fun fact, in the summer, in the spring and summer, their dogs are out basically all the time.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, back to the rulebook. We have Sync Lyric joining us in live stream today. He, while I was out, actually found out something very interesting about these rules.
Yes. So the comprehensive rules that we're going through Bakugan right now is literally Magic the Gathering's rules, just copy and paste it. Like the whole sections and chapters are the exact same. The only difference is that they rewrote some things. Yeah. Like at the very beginning, when they mentioned multiplayer, I think they mention it in the chapter 1. DM, I don't know if you're on it right now.
I am. It's pulled up in stream right now.
Yeah, like if you go to the very top and it says like for multiplayer rules, see section 8. It's the exact same in Magic the Gathering's rulings. Like Magic the Gathering has their multiplayers in section 8 as well. There's no difference, pretty much.
And the next section is for basic rules. Go to section 9, and this one says for cardless rules, see section 9.
So I mean, at least they rewrote some things, I guess, if you want to go that far to say.
I'll make it public, Ren. Don't worry.
No.
Stock
photos and cards, copy pasted rules exactly.
Spin Master, please.
It's obviously because they were in a rush to get some comprehensive rules, and Magic the Gathering's a pretty big game, so.
So who knows? This might be revised at some point.
You would hope so.
Maybe.
Well, it's obviously going to get updates and revisions and whatnot, but for just tournament rules, this is fine.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
And now on to the next one, the batch. When a card is played, that card enters the batch, and when an ability is activated, that ability enters the batch. In some cases, multiple effects may enter the batch at the same time. When 2 or more of these effects are controlled by a single player, that player may choose the ordering of their effects. In the case that some effects are controlled by different players, the starting player's effects will enter the batch first, followed by the end of the batch, going to the non-starting player's effects. That's essentially the whole priority thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. One question I have, though, is 2 effects entering the batch at the same time. Are there any examples of that right now?
That would be
multiple instances of Bent and Dusk.
Ah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Alright, once both players pass priority and don't add to the batch, the card or ability at the end of the batch resolves. Repeat this for each card or ability on the batch using priority rules. The end of the batch is the most recent card or ability played. Some effects in game do not add to the batch. Uncharging energy cards to gain energy does not use it. Use the batch specifically. If a player uncharges an energy card, that player retains priority until they play a card or use an ability. Bakukors do not use the batch. If they have an effect that'll modify a Bakugan, that effect takes place immediately and cannot be responded to. So the plus B power and plus damage thing, that goes right away.
Mm-hmm.
And can't be negated. Let's see. Some Bakugan have text box abilities that are affected by Bakukors. They do not use the batch. Players may choose to forfeit at any time, and forfeiting a game does not use the batch.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, at any point you can give up and the game just stops.
Cease.
Alright. Discard pile. A player's discard pile is a combination of any cards that player has discarded, sacrificed, destroyed, or had negated. In addition, action and flip cards that have been played at that game, and any damage that have been dealt to that player also go to that player's discard pile. Cards with effects that activate when a card is discarded only activate when cards are discarded through the effect of another card, such as a sacrifice. In the event that multiple cards are discarded, each card is treated as an individual discard event. The discard pile is a single face-up pile that may be viewed and rearranged by any players. So, it's public knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Play area. It's a combination of cards that stay in play from turn to turn and consist of character cards, evos, heroes, and energy cards. Cards in the play area do not go to the discard pile after they are used. Wait, what? Oh yeah, because they because the cards stay in effect until they're like destroyed. Right.
Correct.
Right.
They are permanents.
It does. Action cards never go in the play area except as energy. Kind of.
Correct. Walking Dead USA. Not saying this is possible, but since I don't know this is possible, but if you are using 3 Magnus
Black cards, your Bakugan will get plus 4,500 B power. If you somehow manage to get 3 Magnuses on the field at the same time, in the same turn, your Bakugan would in fact get plus 15,000 B power. I don't know where you got the 4,500 from.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you could somehow manage the 24 energy or get lucky in drawing to play for free.
Multiple instances of a thing stack.
Yep, that was even said in the first FAQ video. Can you play multiple copies of the same hero? And the answer is yes, they stack.
So you can have your full playset of whatever you want, and the effects will stack if they can.
Like, let's just say you had 3 Dan Kuzos. When your Bakugan opens, you don't draw 1 card, you draw 3. One after another after another.
Correct. They are different instances, but you will do all 3 things.
Correct. Alright, let's see. Cards in the play area that have the same card type must stay near other cards that share that card type and must remain visible. No shenanigans.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be sneaky. You're not allowed to lay down an arm so your opponent doesn't know how much energy you have charged.
Right. Mm-hmm. Alright, the Bakucore field. Before a game starts, place Bakukores in order. At all times, there must be a clear path from a player to the Bakucore field with no cards in between.
Huh.
When a core is played... Say that again.
So, the way they've been playing on the weekly brawls is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
Because they line up their characters in Bakugan behind the hide matrix.
Technically, yes.
So,
I wonder if that should really be, like, between the Bakugan and the hide matrix. Because the Bakugan need to start from the character card.
Is that a rule I missed while I was gone?
Not necessarily. It's just Bakugan are placed at the start of the game on their corresponding character card.
Yes.
Oh wait. When using an arena, you roll from a faction symbol, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, but like the point is, you're not supposed to have anything between.
Right. At all times, there must be a clear path from a player to the Bakucore field with no cards in between. Yeah, that's... yep. Technically, the Bakugan official YouTube channel is breaking rules.
Oh man, I feel like that's never going to be enforced ever.
No, never.
I mean, except if there were, like, obviously if your hero cards are in front of your character cards, I think that's an issue. Because that would disrupt your Bakugan roll a little bit.
I don't know. I feel like having it off to the side is optimal. That way you don't have to worry about running into someone else's stuff.
Right. Right.
But that's just personal preference. If they do decide to make a hard and fast rule on it, so be it.
Yeah.
Alright, when a Bakucore is placed, at least one side of that Bakucore must touch and be parallel with the side of another Bakucore. If multiple Bakukores are being placed at the same time, the player placing them does so one at a time in any order they choose. I assume that refers to when they return their cores to the hide matrix?
Correct. Let's say your opponent has a card that makes you, or a set of cards that will end up making you return 2 cores to the hide matrix. You get to choose when that'll happen, but you gotta make it happen. Or after a team attack, all your stuff goes back to the hide matrix. You get to choose when, you put which one where, but they all have to happen before anything else happens.
Right.
They do not use the badge.
Alright, turn structure.
Yay.
Let's see, 4 phases. Start phase, roll phase, brawl phase, and end phase. They're in separate steps. Following priority, each phase is taken simultaneously by both players. A phase can only end when both players have passed, in succession, with no cards or abilities remaining to be completed. Once a card or ability is completed, both players gain the opportunity to play additional cards and abilities during that phase.
So it's literally what I said earlier.
Between each phase of that turn, no additional events can take place. The same is true for between turns.
So there is no window of priority as the phase is becoming another phase.
It just instantly begins.
Yes.
Alright, start phase. 2 steps, draw step and energize. You can't play cards or use abilities in this step, and starting player is determined during the start phase, as in the previous rules, I guess. Let's see, draw step. First thing that happens is each player simultaneously draws a card from their deck and puts it to their hand. And then after that, starting with the starting player, both players are given the opportunity to energize a card from their hand. Once the player makes the decision to energize a card or not, they will not get another opportunity to energize a card during this step. So, pretty much, you can choose not to energize a card, but if the starting player chooses not to, and then the next player does, the starting player can't be like, oh yeah, actually I want to energize, because they missed their shot.
Yeah, you have one chance, and this is single chance priority. It does not return to you.
Alright, roll phase. The selection step and the rolling step. Selection, starting with the starting player, choose an unopened Bakugan to roll and place it in front of you. You can play cards after selection and before the roll step. So between these 2 steps, things can happen.
Okay.
But I think it was specifically that nothing can happen between phases and turns.
Walking Dead USA, they're probably going to leave attribute changing, or rather faction changing, to cards. I don't think they're going to actually build that into a Bakugan. They may, but I doubt it.
Right. I highly doubt that's going to happen, honestly. Because I think an attribute changer would fundamentally break the deck building rules.
It really would, which is a giant mark against it. You can't just, have some...
It could almost work.
It would have to be ruled as to where...
It could have a character card, and the character card is what affects the deck building rules, but also what it opens up and changes to would affect its stop rules.
Yeah,
But random chance like that is really broken in a game like this, so they wouldn't add it, more than likely.
No, it's actually incredibly weak in a game like this. Simply because...
Well, just broken, like, the mechanic doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's not something I could see them adding onto a Bakugan. Now, if they do add it to cards, that'd be easy peasy, lemon squeezy, that'd be no problem.
Yeah.
But built into a Bakugan, highly unlikely. Not impossible, but improbable.
Alright, moving on to the rolling step. Prior to rolling the selected Bakugan, each player simultaneously says Bakugan Brawl, or another agreed upon way to release simultaneously, and rolls their Bakugan towards the Bakucore field. I imagine for most people this is just going to be a countdown.
3, 2, 1, go.
Easy peasy.
Bakugan can either be rolled end over end, slid, or spun forward. Bakugan must be released within 2 vertical card lengths from the edge of the table closest to the player rolling it. And then Bakugan cannot be bounced or dropped onto or into the play area, and it must stay on the play area surface. They must come in contact with a Bakucore in order for an opened account.
Big sad on no jump shots, guys.
Rip. That means no Bakugan like Skyrus.
That's not correct.
I'm making a joke.
I will fight you and lose.
You clearly haven't seen scrawny me.
You act like I have, like, muscle or something.
Yeah.
Why are...
Anyways.
Okay, moving on.
5.7.2.
Let's see. No, we had another one. 57141. Contact with only the table, another Bakugan, card, or other non-Bakucore element of the playing area counts as a non-open. Each player that opens a rolled Bakugan reveals the corresponding face-down Bakugan character card and moves to the Brawl Phase. And then, if neither Bakugan are opened, start over from the beginning of the roll step. If both Bakugan are opened and attached to the same Bakucore, both characters get the Bakucore bonus. That's different from what we were told.
Wasn't it if both land on it, neither get it?
No, how I thought Ventus Knight or whoever said it was, why are they joining General? I don't know. But how that was if they open on the same Bakucore, you go for the Bakugan and pull them off at the same time, and whichever retains the Bakucore gets it.
That may have been before the official rules.
It was. It was.
No, I mean, like, before he even knew they existed. Or that may be for the toy battle game.
Yeah, it actually could be.
Yep, Fiery. There are rules updates? Yeah, we have rules now.
Yeah.
Rules are important. The old game barely had rules. This is good.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's see. If a Bakugan opens from contact with a Bakucore but does not stay attached to the Bakucore, the Bakugan is considered open but doesn't receive the bonus.
Okay, fine.
The Brawl Phase. 4 steps. Power, Victor, Damage, and Retracting. Power step. Following priority rules, players may add to the batch by playing cards and using abilities. Effectively the equivalent of a main phase. Victor step. The start of the Victor step begins when the Bakugan with the highest B power rolled from the Brawl Phase is declared the victor. See definition 7.2.10. Alright. All abilities that occur due to a victor being declared enter the batch in the order that the controller chooses. Following priority rules, players may add to the batch by playing cards and using abilities. Alright. Damage step. Okay, damage is dealt to the opposing player by flipping cards face up from the top of the player's deck, one at a time, and then placed into the discard pile. Players cannot play cards or use abilities while damage is being dealt unless a flip card is both flipped and played by the flip card's owner. If a flip card is played, players are allowed to play cards and use abilities by following normal priority rules. And then, let's see, where was I at? Oh yeah, there we are. Opposing cards played in response to a flip card that would modify the victor Bakugan's damage dealt have no effect.
Let me read that again.
Opposing cards played in response to a flip card that would modify the victor Bakugan's damage dealt have no effect. Essentially, once a victor is named, that damage rating is locked.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Once damage has been completed, following priority rules, players may add to the batch by playing cards and using abilities. And then we get... So, once you're done with damage, you can play more cards.
Neat.
And then Team Attack. Here we go. A team attack occurs when all Bakugan from one player's team are opened, and that player won the Brawl Phase for the turn. To perform a team attack, combine the damage rating of all Bakugan from that player's team. That number will be the Bakugan from this turn's Brawl Phase's damage rating. Oh! So it's team attack instead of a normal attack, and not both.
Right, yeah.
Alright. Negative damage ratings do not subtract. After all, negative damage doesn't exist.
That is not what we were told.
Negative damage ratings can exist?
No, I'm saying what we were told before was the order in which you add up the total for a team attack.
No, it said that negatives don't count.
You
cannot go below 0.
Negatives,
right? That's not what I'm
exist,
saying.
all
Though.
0.
That's not what I'm saying though. What we were told was the order for a team attack was add up your Bakugan's damage, add up their pluses to their damage, and then add up their minuses to their damage.
What rule was that?
It was just something clarified by Ventus Knight.
No, what this means is negative damage ratings from a non-attacking Bakugan do not... from a core.
Yeah, from a core.
Okay, interesting. Oh yeah, that would actually kind of make sense. Yeah. Alright, Baku cores that grant additional damage rating to non-attacking Bakugan are part of those Bakugan's damage rating and are included. The negative damages do not count. So it's effectively... it's complicated, but Shadow Strike, basically. Let's see. Abilities such as Double Strike and Frost Strike only apply to team attacks if the victor Bakugan has these abilities. So a Titan Dragonoid's damage, if it's not the victor of that brawl, is only 6 and not 12.
Also, that section did not clarify the attribute or faction of the team attack.
Right. But I think what the clarification was made in a ruling was the faction of the team attack is whatever Bakugan is the victor.
Yeah,
right.
Wasn't it earlier that they said that?
Yeah, they did say that, but the rules don't have that mentioned anywhere, which is kind of silly.
No, I mean earlier in the rules didn't they say that?
To perform...
Also, guys, a team attack on 5.12.1.
A team...
Yeah, we don't worry about that.
Attack. Yep. Okay. Alright, moving on. Once the attacking Bakugan has completed its attack, retract all Bakugan the player controls. Basically, as soon as the retracting step begins, all Bakugan are removed from the Brawl Phase. If the non-victor player had a Bakugan involved in the Brawl Phase, that player retracts that Bakugan and places all attached Bakukores back onto the field.
Okay.
Base Double Strike isn't victor. What? No, because what I mean, like, if you have Base Double Strike as the victor, then it applies. Like, a Titan Dragonoid that wins will have, like, 12 damage.
Plus yada 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 yada.
Yeah, but if it's part of a team attack and it wasn't the victor, it's only 6. No Double Strike happens.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's see, moving on. If the victor player participated in a team attack during the Brawl Phase, that player retracts all Bakugan they control and places all Bakugan cores that were attached to them back onto the core field.
Cool.
End Phase has the play step, charge step, and reset step. The play step you can add to the batch. This is the last instance of card plays and abilities that happen during the turn. Charge step. You can charge all uncharged energy cards they control, so any tapped cards go back to normal. And then the reset step. All turn modifications to Bakugan are reset, and they return to their base ratings.
Walking Dead USA. How weird would it be if there is a crossover episode between the new Bakugan characters and the old ones? That's not happening.
It'd be incredibly weird, because there'd actually be a fair bit of legal business involved in that.
Legally, it won't happen
because Sega Toys effectively owns the rights to the original series, and they're not giving it up anytime soon.
Yeah. So, don't stop, please.
All right. And
basically, anything related to the old series is never happening, and there's no chance of it ever happening.
Yeah, just assume if it's the old series and we haven't seen it yet, it ain't happening.
Right. Nothing related to the old series is ever happening again, basically, unless Sega suddenly is like, hey, let's partner up on this, which they're not going to because they're not doing boys' toys anymore, and they're not interested in that. So unless Sega suddenly is just like, yeah, Bakugan's doing pretty good. Hey, Spin Master, you want to do a partnership on something? Then unless that happens, and before that happens, then it's not happening. Ever.
Sorry to crush your dreams, Leonidas fans, but no.
Actually, I think
we're saying no.
We're saying no.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean,
no.
Ventus Knight was just like, no, it's not happening.
It's not happening, and pretty much like I think Ventus Knight said any of the releases planned for this summer, for example, were finalized 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might have a couple more returned Bakugan. We know Hydronoid will.
If there are any new ones we haven't heard yet, they will come years down the line if the series ever makes it that far.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Let's see. This is a bunch of, I think this is what, abilities, playing cards, abilities and effects.
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff here. It's basically a bunch of stuff we've already heard.
Yeah.
Before priority is changed, the player taking any of these game actions may respond to their own effects. Playing cards. To play a card is to pay its costs. This is all definitions and such, it seems like. Pay its cost, move it from the hand and put it in the batch. Player must have priority to play a card. It requires the player with priority to announce the card and move it from where it is to the batch. It becomes the top card of the batch and will be the next effect to happen unless a player adds a card to the batch before it resolves.
That is how priority works, yes.
At the time of playing a card... At the time the playing of a card is on the batch, it may be negated by an effect. If the card has decisions within the effect, players make them upon announcing the playing of the card, and it includes what the effect will be affecting. Additional costs associated with the playing of a card must be paid and identified when the playing of the card is announced. Alright. Triggered abilities. Abilities that have specified conditions in which they occur and typically appear as when, if, at, other, condition, or effect. If a triggered ability has each of its conditions met, the result is put on the top of the batch. All rules that apply to the resolution of the play effect in the batch apply to a triggered ability. If multiple triggered abilities would occur simultaneously, the starting player places each of his or her abilities in the batch in the order he or she chooses, and then places his or her abilities on top of the batch in the order he or she chooses. That's just restating the same thing over and over again, it seems.
Yeah.
In the case of a game with 3 or more players, give me a minute.
It's the multiplayer rules in 6.3.3.1.
Apologies, my dad was knocking at my door because there's pizza waiting for me as soon as we're done.
Oh, nice.
I'm okay with that. Okay, where am I at?
The multiplayer rules, but they're in 6.3.3.1.
Mm-hmm. In the case of a game with 3+ players, the starting player first places each of his or her abilities in the batch in the order he or she chooses. This process then proceeds clockwise until all players with triggered abilities have placed their abilities in the batch. What kind of pizza? I don't know. Probably like cheese, sausage, simple stuff. My family goes simple.
As you should.
Let's see. If a triggered ability is optional, the controller decides whether or not they put the ability into the batch. Some triggered abilities have conditions under which their effect will happen. These conditions must be met with when the ability resolves in order for the effect to take place. Ability must resolve or not before anything else happens, and once it's gone, it's gone. So it's not like you can play a card, not be able to meet it, and then a few cards later finally be able to meet the conditions. Alright. Let's see. Activated abilities have a cost and effect, appear as cost : effect. All costs must be paid, and then it's put into the batch. Some activated abilities have conditions under which their cost can be paid. The conditions must be met in order for the cost of an activated ability to be paid. Some have conditions under which their effect will happen, and they must be met in order for the effect to happen. Static abilities take effect constantly rather than being activated or triggered at a particular time, and appear as statements on a card. So, like, if something said, like, your Bakugan has plus 300 B power.
Literally any hero card.
Right. And then, like, there are other things, like Magnus, like, for example, says, like, when you play this or something, which only occurs at that moment.
Yeah.
Something called timing, as far as I know. Bakucore effects are considered static abilities when held by a character card. There are a lot of people joining the general chat that aren't in here. It's a little odd.
Walking Dead USA asks how many people can play in the same game. Technically any number. I would keep it below 5.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 or less is optimal.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's see. Some characters have static abilities that are applied if they are holding a specific type of Bakucore, and appear as Bakucore icon : effect. Static abilities can be active in a player's hand, discard pile, or the batch. These abilities will make statements about being in the zone they are active in. If there is no such statement, the ability only applies while in play. So basically, if it's like, say, while this card is in your hand, your Bakugan gets plus 200 B power. But I don't know if there's any card like that yet.
What was the effect? I was taking care of something.
I was putting something out there for something that, like a static effect, like in the hand. Like, while this card is in your hand, your Bakugan has plus 200 B power.
No, because that's not public information. That can't happen. Static effects must be public.
According to this, though, static abilities can be active in a player's hand, which it makes me want to see an example of that.
Why would it ever be in the hand?
I don't know.
Wait, no. I know. It would be...
Wouldn't there be something like while this card is in your hand?
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, while this card is in your hand, your Bakugan have plus 200 B power.
But that's...
I think that would have to be, like, known. It's like, hey, I have this in my hand.
No, it would be something like, while this is in your hand, you may discard this card. Or you may reveal it and...
So,
if it has... an effect that would do something to something on the field, it would have to make itself known somehow. But it can say something like you can move it from hand to zone, and that is considered static effect. I think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Let's not worry about statics in the hand.
All right. I just thought that was an interesting part of the rule. All right. Energy abilities. Energy cards can be activated anytime a player has priority. Using energy cards to create energy is called an energy ability, and they're not put in the batch. Because they're costs.
Yeah.
Alright, completing effects. Whenever there's an effect in the batch, if all players choose to not take any actions, the effect on top of the batch completes. And then all conditions of an effect must be met in order for the effect to happen. All selections and choices of an effect must still be available and legal in order for it to take place. The controller of an effect follows all instructions of the effect in the order the text is written. Some effects will have choices for a player to make. These choices are made in order for the effect to take place. If an effect needs to check the state of the game, it checks once at the moment of completion. Or it checks once at the moment of completion. If the above are all met and decided, the effect leaves the batch and takes place. Alright. An effect is defined as anything that happens in the game that is a result of playing a card or using an ability. Effects are assumed to apply to character cards unless otherwise stated. If an effect exceeds possibilities, it only does as much as possible. Continuous. Modify something for as long as they're active. They read as statements in text. Once a continuous effect is in play, it's treated as a true statement and can no longer be responded to. Negate effects appear as negate an object/event, and they remove effects from the batch. When a card or ability is removed from the batch, the effects of that card do not happen. When the card that created the negated effect goes to the discard pile, a core that is negated is returned to the field. An effect that was created by a card in play is removed from the batch, but that card that created the effect remains in play.
Okay.
So, like, you can... Oh, wait, never mind.
Nope, say it.
No, I corrected myself. Because I remembered something I read earlier. Forget about it. What was that about?
You remembered things. Good for you.
Rude. Then these are just like general terms. Charge, charged, and charging refer to vertical energy cards. At the end of the turn, all energy cards become charged. Uncharged, uncharged, and uncharging refer to horizontal energy cards. Uncharging an energy card produces energy. Spend refers to the action being made when uncharging a charged energy card. To spend an energy card, basically uncharge it. And redundancy. Energize refers to taking a card from a zone and putting it into play as an energy card. Retract refers to returning an open Bakugan to its closed form, and returning any Bakukors. Open Bakugan are any that open during the roll phase. In addition, Bakugan that have previously won a brawl but have not yet been retracted from abilities or a team attack. Essentially a state of being. If it's not in a brawl, it's open.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Neat.
A Bakugan does not need to have a core attached to it in order to be considered open, but must open as a result of the magnet portion of the Bakugan hitting a Bakucore. If an illegal roll has been made, that roll is considered missed. Triggers can result from any of the following events: a card being played, another ability being triggered or activated, starting a new phase or step, and ending a new phase or step. When a trigger occurs, it enters the batch. Flips are cards that are turned face up, one at a time, That's what a card when it flips means. I'm being confusing. How do you do an illegal roll?
They have rules for rolling up higher.
Yeah, let's jump back up real quick. In Rule 5.5, I went too far. It says here, you can Bakugan can either be rolled end over end, so normal like that. You can slide it, or spin it forward. Any other way is illegal.
And it must stay in contact with the
field at all times.
Yeah, with the field
until it opens, because then
must be two cards away from the hide
Ultras
matrix.
Be jumpy.
There's a full list of things that will make your roll illegal if you do them.
All right. Stop will end all remaining damage from the damage origin. The victor is decided each turn during the victor step when the Bakugan with the highest B power is declared. Keyword abilities.
Keyword abilities. Good.
Double Strike deals twice the amount of damage based on its damage rating all at once when it attacks. Like if it has 5 damage and has Double Strike, it'll deal 10 damage when it attacks. And then when a Brawl's phase outcome is decided by damage instead of B power, count the damage rating amount and not the Double Strike. So,
okay, that's actually good to know.
Yeah. So it doesn't confirm this. So okay, never mind. So okay, it says here Double Strike only applies when it attacks. So that clarified something I was thinking of. Like, let's just say Titan Dragonoid, for example, has 6 base, and over the course of the turn, you played cards that added 3 damage to that. That gives it 9, and then when it attacks, it's doubled to 18. Yeah. Shadow Strike. Bakugan with Shadow Strike can't have its damage or B power reduced by cards or Baku cores. Example, if a Bakugan with Shadow Strike is the victor of the Brawl Phase and they are attached, it says attacked, to a Baku core that gives -2 damage, the Baku core is ignored. When a Bakugan gains Shadow Strike, it reverts any effects that reduced its damage or B power that turn. Which was a clarification Ventus Knight made that is now in the rulebook, officially. Frost Strike. Bakugan with Frost Strike increases the losing opponent's flip card costs by that amount. If an attacking Bakugan has 1 Frost Strike and the opponent wants to play any flip cards from the Bakugan's damage, they'll have to pay an extra 1 energy to do so. If the attacking Bakugan gains any amount of Frost Strike in response to a flip card, it does not retroactively affect flip card costs that turn. And then what?
So Frost Strike sticks.
Frost Strike
on the Bakugan that is the victor continuously.
Like, what do you mean? Like, the Bakugan has 1 Frost Strike and the opponent wants to play a flip card.
Wait, no, I misread it. No.
Yeah.
Alright, move on.
Yeah.
Because then we have the faction-specific keywords. Turbo pretty much takes effect if you have the most energy cards in play. Doesn't matter their state. Flow happens if you already played a card that turn. Fury happens if you have no cards in your hand. Sacrifice, you can activate that little effect by discarding a card. And then Domination happens if you're holding the most Baku cores out of all of your opponents. Well, out of all players. Starting player. Starting player is determined by flipping a Baku core. One player flips a Baku core edge over edge, while the other player calls heads the core's symbol, or tails the core's text. If predicted correctly, that player wins the toss and becomes the starting player for the game. The acting player is the player with priority. Just flat. Copying cards. When a card or ability copies another card or ability's effect, treat it as if it had been played independently. Like, I think there's, like, what, a few Aquas cards? It might even be, like, I don't even know.
Titan Garganoid.
Yeah, Titan Garganoid Ultra.
That says, like, copy the first, like, action or whatever that you played this turn. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, that you play after this.
That you play after this. I think there's one somewhere that lets you copy the first effect you played that turn.
No, because that requires tracking that isn't inherent in the game. It'd be copy the last thing you did, most likely. I'd have to look at the list. But if it's tracking more than one thing before or one thing after, it's probably not tracking that.
Okay, because I think I have... Give me 1 minute here. No. I thought it was an Aquas action, but I'm not looking at... Never mind.
I have not seen any Aquas cards with that, and I've been doing a lot of stuff with the Aquas cards this week, so
right.
I don't think that exists.
Right, it's probably not. Alright, let's see. Copied cards do not have the modified abilities granted to the original card. If the original card or ability that was copied is negated, it does not negate its copies. Copied cards and abilities must be played immediately, or they're lost. And then, illegal actions. So here we go, Wind. Here's some more clarifications for you. When a player plays a card that they could not pay the energy cost for, or are prevented from playing it, it is an illegal card play. Illegal card plays are negated, and any effects are reversed. Illegally played cards are returned to the owner's hand, and any energy used to pay for it returns to that player's energy pool. Illegally played cards returned to their owner's hand may still be played legally. Illegal Bakugan plays. When a Bakugan is rolled closer than 2 card lengths from the edge of the closest Baku core in the Baku core field, it is an illegal roll. When a Bakugan is bounced or dropped onto or into the play area instead of being rolled on the surface, it's an illegal roll. When it opens without contacting a Baku core, it's an illegal roll. So basically, like, if you're rolling it and it just pops open before the cores reach, it's counted as a miss, I guess. Or maybe what an illegal roll here. Oh, there it is. Okay, any Baku cores picked up during an illegal roll are returned to the original place, and all effects are negated. Bakugan rolled illegally are reset to their previous position, either open or closed. And then a new roll can be made with returned Bakugan, if it can be rolled legally. And then there's a little thing on misrolls. If a rolled Bakugan rolls off the play area or does not enter the play area, it is a misroll. Misrolls are treated as a roll that did not result in the Bakugan opening. Taking control of a card. When control of a card is moved from one player to another, that player is now controller of that card. Like, I know there's a card that lets you take control of an enemy hero.
Yeah, I believe that's a Darkest Flip.
Right, yeah. I think it might be one of the last in the lineup, actually.
Yeah, it is Shadow Breath. 4 energy for a Darkest Flip. Take control of a hero.
Yep. And then when a controlled card is discarded from play, it's placed in the original owner's discard pile. Multiplayer. Small section. Multiplayer rules follow the full version of the Bakugan game with some modifications. Priority remains the same, but pass in a clockwise direction. In the case that the starting player is not part of the brawl, the player closest to the starting player going clockwise wins ties.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
Care to explain? Because I'm slightly confused. Slightly.
Okay, if the start player didn't have a pop-out, but a tie still occurs, the player going clockwise that is involved in the brawl and in the tie wins.
I see. Alright. Let's see. The victor deals damage to each other player rather than just one. And when a player has no cards remaining in their deck and is dealt damage, that player is eliminated, but the game does not end until there's only one person remaining.
Cool.
That's pretty much all the stuff for TCG. Cardless rules, I'm probably just going to say here they are effectively the same. It's just you don't use any abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just win once you have 3 Bakugan open.
And you win once you've collected 3 Baku cores.
Yeah.
Wait, it's when you've collected 3 Baku cores?
That's what it says. That's what the official rules say. That's different.
Oh,
interesting.
That's different.
That is different. It's
Because-
once you've won 3 battles. In the official.
Yeah, in the
rulebook.
official rules, it's once you've won 3 battles, but here it's once you've collected 3 Baku cores. This means that if a Bakugan manages to collect 2 at once, and then your next roll is 1 and you win,
So
you win
Ultras
without
are
needing the third.
almost strictly better in the toy battle game.
Except for Halcor, because his magnet is garbage.
Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I doubt any of us are going to be playing the toy battling game, but
Right.
For
I think honestly probably
It would be a fun pastime.
I think most people are probably going to follow just the three wins to win kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because then you can get kind of chungy over it.
Because then there's another thing here, like with this collected 3 Baku cores. What if you win 3 battles, but one of your Bakugan did not keep a core attached to it when it opens? What happens with retraction?
Yeah. You just put everything back on the field and start over at square one, I guess.
Woohoo! Brawl redo.
That would make it really long.
Mm-hmm.
God, that would suck.
With no ability cards to supplement anything, that would be really long.
Like, the whole point of the toy battling game is for children,
Yes.
which is fine, and people who have 5 minutes.
Yes.
Right.
So that rule makes no sense.
Yeah.
So, gonna have to talk to VK about that one.
Uh-huh. Gonna have to
Well-
bring that up. It's like, that's a bit of a glaring inconsistency.
Once he's on Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe like put a pin in this section.
Yeah.
971.
The player who wins 3 gate cards wins, guys. It's confirmed. Unless you just keep your Baku cores.
Now we're playing with Anti now. The loser has to give up one of their Baku cores.
That probably won't be that big of a deal because you know how many dupes people have of cores. You know how many dupes I have of cores. Jeez.
No, I think I only have 1 dupe.
Really?
Of course, I've only bought a few things.
Oh, okay.
There's one of the ones that came with the card collection. It was like a plus 200 beat powered Aquas or Darkus that I think I have like 5 copies of.
Did they
2
mention
from
you
the
can
card
have duplicate
collections.
cores?
I think you're allowed. I think I think it's okay. Not
VK can.
It was never
said
mentioned
so.
in these official rules or anywhere else, but
Well, that needs to be addressed.
VK may have said it. I'm not sure.
I remember him saying you can use dupes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly, so they just. It's a good version 1, but it does need fixed up a little.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, when the new set comes out, they'll clean it up a little.
Hopefully, yeah.
And not
I
completely
think
upstone.
new sets probably coming summer. Probably June.
March.
March.
They did say it would be 3 a year, yeah.
Yeah.
Did VK said then it's probably going to be April.
April, yeah.
April.
Illinois
I was
said
about to-
March.
I was about to
Illinois
say,
was
like-
told March.
But that'd be really strange because
Or at least
wave
that's what I remember. Illinois
Wave
being.
3 wouldn't even release until then, and Wave 3 is still part of Battle Brawlers.
Yeah, it's like you get a new wave of Bakugan every month, but 4 waves of Bakugan makes a new set.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding of how things are going right now. Now, of course, most of this is just hearsay, so don't hold me to that. But that's what I got.
All right. All right. I think with that, we're going to cut this here.
Yep.
Been a nice stream, chatting about rules. We went into a deep, dark rabbit hole about, like, cartoons and anime and all that good stuff.
Yep.
All your old stuff is dead. Forget about it.
Actually, speaking of old stuff, to kind of end this off here, Corbin, I know you and I have collected, like, back in the past. And then, see what I have you.
Wait, what was that?
Have you collected much Legacy Bakugan?
Yeah.
So here's a question to everyone. What is, like, maybe your favorite acquisition or your proudest acquisition?
I mean, best would probably be the single-headed Hydronoid, just because I don't have a lot of rare stuff.
Oh yeah, you did get that one.
Yeah, it's probably the rarest thing I have. But my favorite thing, honestly, is just because of nostalgia, kind of slightly, is a Percival Vortex that I got in a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not that common. Although there's a new in-box one from Japan on eBay, and it's like not even that expensive. So
yeah, that's
if I get money, if no one scoops it up, and stuff like that kind of sits on eBay for a while. So if it sits there for long enough, I might scoop it up new in-box.
Mm-hmm. All right, Corbin.
Do you remember Shade?
I do. Baku Shadow Cordum.
I still have him.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I'm still holding on to my Phantom Darak.
Well, that thing's like actually decently rare.
Oh yeah, and then
like comparatively, mine's just like.
Then I
Walmart
within the past
exclusive.
few months got my hands on a Blitz Dragonoid. So, yeet.
I wish I had a Blitz Dragonoid and I gifted Phantom Darks to friends, but I never bought myself one.
Well.
So,
Big sad.
but I still have Shade, and that's what matters.
Alright, and then for me, best in my collection would probably have to be either my 3 single-headed Hydronoids, only one of which is in perfect working condition, one which is so broken it can't even open on a card, or like my Battle Gear Mark II that I got that I still need to repair.
Huh.
But my proudest acquisition, honestly, is probably my Shield Leoness.
Oh, you have a shield?
I managed one. Here's the story of how that happened. On Yahoo Auctions Japan, there was a complete in-box Shield deck. So it had the Shield Leoness. Well, it's not necessarily complete in box. It didn't have the sextagonal piece, but it had Shield Leoness, Gravity Gnome, and Dai Fujo. It also had a Gigantorus. It was for 1,200 yen, which is roughly about $10. I waited until about 15 to 30 minutes before it ended. I put a bid on it. I expected to have a difficult time. By 30 minutes to the end, there was actually no bids on it. So I placed one and won it uncontested.
Wow.
I was sitting here like, how does that happen? I just got basically a Shield Leoness for like $3. That was wild and honestly pretty great.
GG.
Rip.
My mother just texted me that I'd better come get some pizza before my brother eats it all.
Oh no.
Before we go, I would like to say someone on the Discord just mentioned that the old characters had poor writing compared to the new characters, and yes, they are correct.
Yes, absolutely.
So we got that out there.
So,
alright, thanks for tuning in to this very chill live stream. This wasn't as, like, hectic as last week, and that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
well, yeah, because like you were cracking packs.
Right,
Yeah.
that too. And
Sorry.
and this also just had like less people, and it's more like a kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 is probably the sweet spot.
Do you still have a Battle Planet product to unbox a DM?
No, I'm all done.
Oh. If you pick anything else this week, you should save it for next week's live stream.
Yeah, honestly, might as well. Like,
Yeah.
there's still that one battle pack in the last starter pack I need to, or the last starter set I need to grab.
That sounds.
And we'll worry about that later.
We will.
Yeah.
All right, let's call it here.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right, see what I, Corbin. Thanks for joining us,
You are welcome.
and we will catch you guys next stream, probably on Saturday again, because I work Sundays now, and it sucks.
Yay.
Thanks for coming along, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.